But as much as you want to save animals, I'm pretty sure you're not going to do it by buying cosmetics. Pretty sure you can't walk into the body shop and buy some burdock root peppermint oil foot scrub, and some little badger somewhere in Scotland is going to go, wow, I feel a whole lot better about my life right now. Somebody's buying that burdock root peppermint oil foot scrub. I don't see the point in testing cosmetics on rabbits anyway, because they're already cute. Slather some lip gloss and eyeliner all over them. Now they're all gussied up like some $3 whore. There's no dignity in that for a rabbit whatsoever. You want to test out cosmetics? Test them out on big game, because they stink. Get up under a hippopotamus there and get some roll-on deodorant under his armpit. See how fresh and self-assured he stays all day, huh? Little lip gloss on a beaver. Real beaver. Stay with me, fella. Real beaver. Right? Damn doting, log-eating beaver. If he's charged through 60 logs and he's still wearing that lip gloss, that's some damn good lip gloss right there, ladies and gentlemen. You know this whole thing about, you ever meet someone famous and you tell your friends, and then they say, well, what was he like? Because all they really want to hear is that he was a prick. So they like to say Tom Cruise is the nicest guy in Hollywood. And I always think, well, if I was making $8 million a film, I'd be nice too. Jesus Christ. But I'm not sure he is that nice. Because I always read these articles about how he's so insular and he's into his Scientology and he, stays at a hotel, won't make eye contact with anyone in the hotel because he doesn't want to talk about the plots to his new films. Apparently, as if staring Tom Cruise in the face, he would just crack under pressure. What are you staring at? Hey, you want to hear about my new film? Ever seen a Tom Cruise film like he couldn't figure out the plot in about 18 seconds? Oh, Christ. He's a cocktail maker. He's a pretty good cocktail maker, too. Till he has a crisis of confidence and can't make cocktails anymore. Then he meets a good-looking woman who talks him into being a better cocktail maker. A riveting piece of cinema that was. Then he's a race car driver. Pretty good race car driver, too. Till he has a crisis of confidence. Can't race cars anymore. Then he meets a good-looking woman who talks him into being a better race car driver. Then he's a jet pilot. Some of you are starting to see a pattern emerge here. Pretty good jet pilot? Yes, he was. Until he had a crisis of confidence, couldn't fly jets anymore. Then I believe he met a good-looking woman who talked him into being a better jet pilot. Then he was a sports agent. Then he was the brother of a retarded guy. He was a pretty good brother of a retarded guy until he had a crisis of confidence and wasn't so sure he was such a good brother of a retarded guy. And then he met a good-looking woman who talked him into being a better brother of a retarded guy. Then he was some kind of, I don't know what he's in now, War of the Worlds. Maybe he fights the world. And you know what? I bet he's a pretty good world fighter. But at some point he'll probably have a crisis of confidence. You'll meet a good-looking woman who convinces him it's okay to fight the world. Could be a Scrabble player for all I care. He's a pretty good Scrabble player. Till he draws all vowels. Has a crisis of consonants. And he meets a lovely Welsh woman who teaches him a lot of words he's never heard before.
That's the thing is, I've met some crazy people and with some crazy ideologies. One of the craziest people I met, and the funniest, were these guys called the Black Israelites. If you don't know the Black Israelites, right, it's a group of black dudes in New York, right, and they think the black man's the original Jew, right? They think the white man's the devil. I mean, look, they have a point, right? And they think Jesus, right, is coming back to put white people in slavery, right? Which, look, I think is messed up. Because I think white people would make terrible slaves. Do you know what I'm saying? You whip them once, they run to the manager. You try and give them bread and water. Is it gluten-free? No. It's not gluten-free. I know some old white woman making my dinner and stuff like, Margaret, if you make me another shepherd's pie, I'm going to sell your ass. Sandwich porch. Start selling people. I don't know. I get called a lot of stuff now. Especially with the internet, I get called tons of stuff. I get called racist words, and I get called racist for making jokes about white people. I just want to say my mom's white. I have one at home. She's fine. I have no issues with white people. Love white people, right? But everyone calls me mad things. And I'll be honest with you, when you get called a lot of stuff, you have to have a thick skin. You can't let it bother you, because it'll just get you down if you always listen to that stuff. And it's never bothered me, except for one time. Someone said something about me, and it just really basically, someone called me middle class, and it just really... I threw my avocado on the floor. I was perturbed. I was like, mother, take this away. I can't finish this avocado. Middle class? I ain't middle class. I'm not you. I'm from Ilford, man. If you don't know Ilford, it's in between East London. Don't you cheer Ilford, goddammit. Ilford is horrible. It's in between East London and hell. That's where Ilford is. Don't want to go Ilford, right? It's that weird thing. It's like you work hard and then people think they can take away your identity from you. And that's like a weird point. It's like you can't be working class because you've worked hard. You get to play lovely gigs like this. You can't be what you are. And the thing is, like, I am working class in my heart. But there's a conflict. My brain says different sometimes. You know? Like, sometimes my friends will call me from prison. It's just what it is. It's just what it is. They'll call me up and they'll be like, yo, Jamali, you need to start repping for the mandem. And I go, you know what? I need to start repping for the mandem. They say, you need to start saying free the mandem. I'm like, you know what? I need to start saying free the mandem. And that's in my heart. I believe that. We should free the mandem. But then my brain goes, yes, Jamali. But now you have stuff they want to steal. So I'm like, yeah, free the mandem. If they've completed the course, maybe. I don't know. Free them up if they've repented. I don't know. If they ring me up, they'll be like, yo, say free Ginger J. Free Ginger J. Say free Worm. Is Worm still locked up? You better free him. Say free Killer. Nah, I don't know about Killer, man. I'm not saying we should never free Killer, just don't free him where I live. Because I live in a nice gentrified area now, just what I'm saying. So it's like, and I'm angry at gentrification, but it's hard because it's delicious. I'm drinking my latte going, oh, these hipsters, do you know? Like, so yeah, free hit Killer, but just not where I live, not in my community. Because gentrification is a weird one, because does anyone remember when London was shit? Like, Hammersmith was shit. None of you would have been able to be here. It was that bad. It was never Peckham shit. Peckham was shit. I go as far as Bethnal Green and look at Peckham through a telescope. That's as far as I go. But gentrification is a weird one, because can we disagree that you see, like, middle-class hipsters that moved to the ghetto pre-gentrification are some of the most bravest people in the world? Only a hipster can go to the hood and go, no, I see potential. Seriously.
I was on holiday recently. I was on an all-inclusive. We all love an all-inclusive holiday, don't we? Oh, aye. Chips and gateau for breakfast. Yes. I always think it's amazing. I can always identify where people are from on an all-inclusive holiday. It's fascinating for me. Like, the Italians, you can always tell the Italians because they could put on a bag of rags and look amazing. Then you can see the Germans, and they're quiet, and they're reserved. And then there's us, the British. That's interesting, isn't it? Because we all want to become pals with each other. I've had a pen pal in Woking for 25 years that I met in Lanzarote. But it was a really, really interesting for me because there's a way I can always tell if someone is from the south of England on holiday. And it's I don't need to hear your accent, nothing. The way, number one, I will tell if you are from the south of England is it will be 9 o'clock at night. It's 28 degrees. The moon and the stars are out, and you come out wearing a wee jumper because it gets a bit chilly. It's 28 degrees, the moon's out, I'm Scottish, I'm like, past the factor 50 hen. I do not trust the moon burn, get me the factor 50. Then there's another way I can always tell someone is from the south of England. You and I are on an all-inclusive holiday. We can eat as much as we want, and they will go to the bar and they will order a half pint. No, you can't order a half pint in Scotland. Next time you visit Scotland, try and order a half pint. That is one of the most tense conversations you will ever have. About 3 months ago, I went to a bar in my home city of Glasgow, and I says to the barman, can I have 2 pints of lager and a half pint of lager? And he looked at me, and he went, what was that? I said, it's 2 pit. He went, no. Just the last one. I went, it's just a half pint of lager, mate. Hold on. Come here. Tell him. Just the last one. I went, it's just a half pint of lager. Is that for you? It's for my pal. Ah. Are they on antibiotics? Are they pregnant? Would they like a colouring book and crayons with that?
Do you love London? I love London. I feel like London is created by the people, right? Who are just crazy and sexy and ambitious. I got into an Uber the other day, not bragging, and I got into an Uber and the driver, he said, would you like to have the radio on? And I was like, I don't mind, it's up to you. And then he said, well, actually, I make my own music. Do you mind if I put some of that on? No, I don't. And then he put on Drake's new album. I wonder how often it works. I wonder how often there's a middle-aged white woman thinking, oh, well, he looks like Aladdin and he sounds like confidence personified. Pull over and jump in the back, Nikolai. I'm having a good life. I have recently started doing yoga, which is just change. Yes, woo for the yoga over there. Are you a team? I'm new to it. I love it. Yoga has changed my life. It's brilliant. Yoga is my new drug. My old drug was drugs. Which I'm not going to say anything positive about because it would be incredibly irresponsible. I'm not going to say anything positive about drug taking. What I will say is I didn't take MDMA until I was 32, and it was such a relief to know I could be happy. The equipment's broken. But yoga is nearly as good, and there's no downsides. It's given me a whole new language. My favourite new word is namaste. Yeah, it's a very old word, it's very sacred, and it means the yoga has finished now. And then you're allowed to leave. I think that the key to being happy as you get older is self-acceptance. Like, I have to accept things about myself now. Like, I'm 36, I thought I would have children by now, and I don't. In an ideal world, what I wanted to self-fertilise. I wanted to have children that were exactly my genetics so that I could show them to my parents and go, see, it was my childhood, they're fine. Science can't do that yet. And then I had a crazy day last month where I just thought, I'm just going to buy some sperm. I'm just going to buy some sperm off the internet. I've got a good job. I'm just going to buy some sperm. Guys, sperm is so much more expensive than I thought it was going to be. It is tens of thousands of pounds. We are all wasting a valuable resource. 17-year-old me would have been a millionaire if I'd learned how to catch it and chuck it in the freezer. It's a shock. I do think self-acceptance is the key. Like, there's things about myself I don't like, but I just have to accept now that they're not going to change. This is who I am. Like, so for instance, I don't like art. I think art is rubbish. I think lots of people think art is rubbish, but we're too worried of looking stupid, so we go along with it. I think that the worst art form is theatre. Right, okay, I can sense how unpopular this opinion is. Hear me out. I think theatre is diabolical. Look, I do, look, and also, I'm aware, if you are a performer of some kind, if you're an actor, look, please don't be offended. I don't mean being in the play. Obviously, if you're the person in the play that gets to put a wig on and walk up and down and move your arms and project your voice, saying things like, I think you'll find you're contradicting yourself, Alan. Fun. Having to watch it. Dear Christ. I can't concentrate. I can't lose myself in the story. I know that it's not real because I'm surrounded by people eating crisps. And they don't let you look at your phone. So all you're thinking is, well, how long has it been?
We need to bring back a sense of consequences for our actions. In this world, there are no more consequences for actions, yeah? And what I'm talking about, if there's no consequences in this life, what we need to do is bring back to Britain a simple sense of hell. The idea, if we screw up in this life, right, we will burn in sulphur for all eternity in the next life. Now, this is quite a tough sell, right? You don't like that idea, do you? Right, but hear me out, this is a good idea. We got any Christians present? I need your assistance. Any Christian people here this evening? Yeah, in the pink shirt. What's your name, son? Josh. Fantastic. You're a Christian? So you understand the idea of redemption, eternity, yeah? Resurrection, eternity in particular. And I do too. I understand the notion of eternity because I went to church on Sunday. Let me tell you this, that service went on forever. If it took me an hour to open a bottle of wine, I'd be drummed out of business. Now, the point is this. How long does it take to own a packet of crisps? Get on with it. Now, we need to bring back... Now, the problem with the idea of hell is no one's frightened of it. Now, I'm going to describe hell for you now, and none of you are going to bat an eyelid, right? And while your body's boiling in the mouldering in the grave, we'll take your soul and boil it in boiling oil for 1,000 millennium. Then after that, 2 sulphurous demons, emissaries of Satan himself, will come along, pull out your kidneys and set fire to them on the red-hot coals of hell itself. Then after this, another demon will come along, pull out your eyeballs, stick them on a red-hot poker, burn them on the hot coals of hell, and stick them up your arsehole, and they'll come out your own mouth with the shit on it. And this will go on forever. So you're not bothered by that, are you? In fact, most of you are laughing at it. Huh? In fact, most of us, being British, are thinking, well, come on then! Call yourself the devil! And that's the interesting thing about hell, isn't it? When you describe it, when someone describes hell, it tells you everything you need to know about that person, right? And what he's like and what his people are like. And I describe hell then in a normal British accent, which tells you that we, the British, are stoic, tough people who could take absolutely bloody anything. Right? And that's the interesting thing about hell. It tells you about the people telling you about it. Hell, in a French accent, for instance, sounds like a recipe. And while the body is lying down and the worms inside the flesh, we take out the soul and place it in very hot oil for a long time. Then, once it is tender, 2 demons come together at once, remove the kidneys and place them on the hot coals with a little white wine vinegar, some sea salt, and some rosemary, and cook them till they're brown on the outside, but still pink in the middle. Then after this, we take the eyeballs, place them on the hot coals, cook them till they're crunchy on the outside, runny in the middle, on the hot poker, stick them up the arse, they come out the mouth with the shit on. It is delicious. Absolutely delicious. Hey, you see? Perverts! Perverts, basically, yeah? Hell. Hell in a Dutch accent sounds like a pretty good stag do, doesn't it? Hey, and while your body is lying down, we'll take you to the hottest place you can imagine. Imagine the hottest place you can go, yeah? Now go even hotter. And 2 demons will come together and rub oil all over your body. 2 demons together. 2 demons together at once, and then you will take out your kidneys. Oh, your hot kidneys. Your hot kidneys. And place the kidneys in a hot place and cook the kidneys till they're hard, until your kidneys are hard. And then take out your eyeballs and stick them in your bum hole. And this will cost you 45 euros. Hey, are you ready? Sounds like an agreeable weekend.
I hope I haven't offended anybody. You don't know. You can talk about whatever you want on stage. Nobody gives a toss. You talk about cats. Don't talk about cats on TV. You know? Even if it's a funny thing about cats. Like Cat in the Bin. Remember that? There was a week of Cat in the Bin. A week of a cat going into a bin. You remember the first time you saw that horrific footage? The cat go into the bin. I know, live it with me, brothers and sisters. Is it just me, or was your first reaction, why is Susan Boyle putting a cat in a bin? Genuine, my first reaction when I saw the cat go in, I've turned into such an environmental idiot as I've got older. Genuine, my first reaction when I saw the cat go into the bin was, oh God, no, wrong bin. A cat is 100% recyclable. You never know, man. I love the news. And the tabloids. I love the tabloids, man. But are they creepy? Oh, you better believe they are. Here's a classic example, lad. The Middletons. Kate and Pippa. Right? They must have been raised in pretty much the same upbringing, right? They've got to be pretty similar women. Not in the tabloids, they're not. I feel sorry for Pippa, do you? Because all the filth is on her, isn't it? Because the tabloids can't say anything untoward about Kate, not the future Queen of England. So, oh, here she comes. Lovely, lovely Kate. Oh, lovely, lovely Kate. Here she comes. Duchess of Cambridge. Future Queen of England. Here she is. Oh. Handing out coins to the immigrant children. Look at filthy Pippa. Oh, you filthy cat. Who brings an arse to a wedding? Oh, lovely, lovely Kate. Oh, healing the poor with her eyes. Oh. Look at filthy Pippa. Down the docks with a bell. Ding, ding. Come and get it, boys. Come on. That's all I'm saying, people. I hope I haven't offended anyone. You just don't know when you're a comedian. I'll give you an example of this. I did a gig for the biscuit industry. That's right, people. I work for the biscuit industry. No, I know. It was terrifying, man. It was 15 biscuit businessmen. And I was dreading it, man. You know, not like this. I knew you were going to be good. But it turns out they were great. They were fantastic. And that's why I said it. I only said it because they were good. And I didn't walk straight on and say it. At the end of the gig, I went, listen, you've been fantastic. They were like, more. I'm like, no, I can't. I have to go do another gig. But before I go, can I ask you something? They're like, yeah. Anything? Yeah. It's about biscuits. Yeah. This is all I managed to say before the whole crap house went up in flames. Wagon wheels. They're the same size as they've always been.
It's a Tuesday night. We've all got to stay over. Should we go for a drink? I said, James, I'd love to go for a drink with you. It'd be great. He said, good. I said, I normally play darts, but I'm up for going out. He said, brilliant. He said, because tonight, it's the Brits. Now, I'm in my 40s. I've been married 17 years. I wasn't really sure what the Brits was, to be honest. But in front of me new showbiz mates, I didn't want to look like a knobhead. So I went, all right, yeah, let's go and do some Brits. Yeah, I'm always up for some Brits. We're always Britain it by us. Let's go and Brits it. Yeah, I'm up for the Brits. Let's go and Brits it. He said, fantastic. He said, I'll phone Robbie up. We'll go to his party. I said, great. If we're going to go to a party, let's stop at the off-licence on the way and get the ale in. He said, no, it's not that kind of party. It'll be in a nightclub. He said, do you know Robbie? And I went, I mean, I know some Robbies. He said, Robbie Williams. I went, oh, Bob! 10 minutes later, I'm sat in a car with James Corden and Freddie Flintoff going to the Robbie Williams Brits after-show party. It's one of those moments where you want to phone your mate and go, guess where I am? But you can't. I'm just trying to act all cool. I'm also in a car going to a nightclub. It's a long time since I've been to a nightclub. In my head, I'm worried about whether they're going to let me in jeans. The last nightclub I went to, I wore a thin leather tie. It's been a while. We come along in this car, we turn up with this nightclub in London. There's a cavalcade of cars. The bouncers come out and open the door. Bouncers aren't what bouncers used to be. Bouncers used to be different. When I was going to nightclubs, they used to wear dicky bows and look dead smart. They don't do that now. They have little bomber jackets with certificates on the sleeve, don't you? To show you they've got an MVQ in kicking your head in. We go to walk into this nightclub. There's a bank of photographers there. They all start shouting, James, Freddie. Start taking photographs. No one knows who the friggin' hell I am. But they're shouting, James, Freddie. So they stop. So I stopped. Goes into the nightclub. It was a bit loud, to be honest with you. It was a bit loud, and there was a lot of songs without words, a lot of boom, 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 and I had a really good book that I was halfway through, so I didn't want to stay out late anyway. And also, Robbie wasn't there, which disappointed me immensely. I spent all night hoping to bump into Robbie Williams. I spent all night walking around with a bottle of beer in my hand in case I bumped into Robbie Williams, so I could say, "Oh, do us a favour, Robbie, take that." I know. Shit, Joe, brew house you're going to do it with. So I spent all night doing that. Goes home, woke up the following morning, one of my mates phoned me up. He said, "Where were you last night?" I said, "Look, I'm sorry I missed the dart." He said, "Where were you?" I said, "I was just working." He said, "I know where you were." I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "You were out in London, weren't you?" I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Get up, have a look on the Sky News website, have a look in the showbiz section, look at the Brits after show party." I said, "Look, mate," I said, "I don't want you to think I've become a champagne Charlie. I was just out with some lads from work. We were going to this thing. We had to stay over." He said, "Just get up and have a look, knobhead." I got out of bed. I looked on the Sky News website. I looked in the showbiz section. I looked at the Brits after show party. There was 42 photographs. Photograph number 39 was a picture of me, James Corden, and Freddie Flintoff walking into the Robbie Williams party. The caption next to it said, "An unlikely trio." It said James Corden and Freddie Flintoff arrived at the Robbie Williams after-show party with Bez from the Happy Mondays.
It's a tough time to be a young person in the world right now. I think it's a tough time, and here's why. I was writing on a TV show last year, and at the end of the show, when it was canceled, I checked my bank balance on my phone. And on my phone, I saw that I had $5,421, not to brag. And this is how little I know about being an adult. I saw the bank balance on the screen, and I thought to myself, with no irony, I should buy a house. Not a big house, one of those small $5,000 houses. How is any millennial ever gonna own a home? How is any young person ever gonna own a home? It seems impossible, and it's made me hate old people. I see a few of you in here tonight. I hate you. Because every old person in a city like London or LA or New York is the same. They're like, "My house is worth £2 million, but when I bought it in 1981, I paid 11 raspberries for it." And every young person's like, "I have 9 roommates. One of them's a dog with rabies. We'd love to get him out, but his name is on the lease." And every old person's like, "I'm a librarian with a country home in the Cotswolds." Go fuck yourself. And then there's criticism of young people. Like, young people live on their phones. It's the only place we can afford to live. By the way, our governments are the oldest governments. Like, the US government has the 3rd oldest government in the world. It's Croatia, Mozambique, the United States, and the UK is 9th. The average age of a US politician is dead. All of our leaders are crazy old. It's a gerontocracy. John McCain died last year, the guy who ran for president against Obama the first time, and people were like, "What a tragedy." What? You're like, what a tragedy. Gone too soon. No, he should have died 25 years ago. John McCain, when he ran for president, was the oldest man who ever lived. I'm not kidding, look it up. He's the oldest man who ever lived. Everyone he went to high school with was killed when the meteor hit. John McCain is in the Bible. If you open up to the second page of the Bible, there's McCain killing his brother McAbel. He's crazy old. I can't enjoy certain television shows. Like, I was watching SpongeBob SquarePants with a younger cousin, 2 years younger. We love the classics. And I'm getting angrier and angrier because I'm watching SpongeBob and I'm thinking, this sponge owns his own pineapple? This sponge owns a 2-story pineapple? Oh, he must be a banker. He's not a banker. He works in a fast food restaurant. And his neighbor works with him in the restaurant, lives in an Easter Island head. That's a listed building. There's no way he can afford that.
Lay it on your ass with a key in your eye. It's also good to be here because I enjoy drinking. That's how I got this lovely voice. But I do enjoy drinking, and it's beautiful here for that. You know, like in LA, I'm an alcoholic. In Canada, I'm a drinker. Here, fine. I'm absolutely fine. I have nothing to worry about. Everything's wonderful. In fact, I could be fit. And in Ireland, I'm a pussy. So it depends, really, on where you go. I remember years ago, the first time I got really smashed was in Dublin many years ago. And bless one person. And I got smashed. I've never been that smashed. I fell off the back of a bar stool. I've never done that before. And it wasn't because I was, this kind of drunk. It's just for a brief moment. I thought there was a back on the bar stool. So I was like winding up a story, some bullshit story that I thought was clever. And I'm winding her up. And then we all decided to, and just completely disappeared from view. But God bless the Irish. They don't make fun of you. They just pick you up, dust you off, and put you back on that bar stool. And then they all line up and tell you the story about when they fell off the bar stool. And fiddles come out of nowhere. And they sing a song about what just happened. I don't like organized drinking. I'm not big on like stag parties, any of that bullshit. Most of my, at my age, most of my friends are getting remarried. And the stags are a bit calmer when you're getting remarried. We just got smashed and watched Iron Man 2. Dumbest movie I've ever seen, and if you think it's good, then shoot yourself. There's no point. But I got smashed and mad at a movie. That's never a good sign. Walking home drunk with a suit. Nothing sadder than drunk men in suits. Way too many pockets. I'm walking, getting closer to my house. And what I don't know, I was wearing a necktie. And the wind grabbed the front part, the fat part of my tie, and threw it over my shoulder, leaving me with that little tie. I was so drunk, I looked down and thought, oh my God, I'm huge. How am I ever gonna fit in my little house? I'm gonna have to live outside now. There's really, truly nothing sadder than a man drunk coming home, and there's the old lady in the house. And when I say old lady, women, don't get all pissy. I'm her old man, so please don't form a giant woman and come up here and attack me. I've always had that fear of women. If you piss off more than 5, they morph into a big one and just come at you. Men all over the world, man. We stand outside of our homes drunk, auditioning to get in. There's nothing sadder standing outside of your house at 3 o'clock in the morning practicing the word hello.
don't say howdy, you stupid bastard. Only drunk people say howdy. Might as well jump through a window and kick her in the crotch if you're going to say howdy.
My name is Ardle. It is a real name. I am a real person. Don't worry, nobody ever gets my name right. Call me all sorts of things. Harry and Arnold and Aaron and Anal. That was one, genuinely. Yes, I heard that over a tannoy system at a theatre in Norwich. Could Anal come to the stage door, please? Lovely. Me being so passive, I just turn up and go, yeah, it's me, Anal. What do you want? Of course, a lot of people call me Dougal. You know why? Simply because of a character that I played in a sitcom many years ago. And just before I start, I'd like to get something off my chest, if you don't mind. Because of that character that I played in this show called Father Ted, a lot of people think I'm actually stupid. They think I'm the stupidest person in the world and they feel sorry for me. Only last week someone stopped my wife in the street and said, is he as stupid in real life? And I wouldn't mind, but I was standing right beside her at the time. I'm talking to her like she's my carer, not just my wife. And this is a true story, and I'm going to tell you this and then I'm going to move on. A couple of years ago, I was in a taxi. I arrived at Dublin Airport. I live in Dublin, and I jumped into a taxi, and I asked the taxi driver to take me home. I gave him the address. I didn't just assume he knew where I lived. And the taxi driver just wanted to talk about this show that I was in, Father Ted. And he was looking at me with pity. And he actually asked me at one point, he said, do you remember being in it? This is my life. People wonder why I do this. Why I travel up and down the country week in, week out, try to convince strangers that I'm a normal, intelligent human being. Well, that's the reason. Anyway, I'm in the taxi. And I'm trying to change the subject to anything at all, sport or politics, and I'm trying to impress the taxi driver with my knowledge, and I'm using big words to impress him, like utensil and testosterone. And we were getting on fine. We were about 20 minutes into the journey. This is absolutely true. I suddenly remembered that I have a car. Some of you are ahead of me. And 3 days previously, I parked my car at the airport car park. And I just couldn't tell him. I couldn't bring myself to tell him. I know how the world works. One little slip up, you'd never be allowed to forget it. Oh, sorry, could you turn around? I'm such a big fool. No. I know he'd be telling everyone, oh, you'd never believe who I had in the car, that feckin' Egypt from Father Ted. So I let the driver take me all the way home. And as soon as he was out of sight, I called another taxi and I went back to the airport.
A lot of people know that I used to be a bouncer, which if you didn't know, I imagine that's come as quite a surprise. What? I was. Problem is, I still look like a bouncer. There's about 12 of you in here that showed me your tickets, and people still treat me like a bouncer. I went out a little while ago for a drink. I'm in the bar's hot, so I went outside, get some air, send a text message. So I wasn't stood there very long. I looked up from my phone and a queue had formed. That's the kind of... I had to learn how to be a bouncer while being a bouncer, which is like the worst place to learn how to do that job, especially when people think you can fight. I accidentally got a reputation that I could fight. I was 19, it was in my local bar, and I was drunk. I was really drunk. I'd had like 50 beers. I had 3. You know I had 3. I realised about that line, like, as you get older, you think that line's going to stop. It doesn't. It just changes. Like, do you remember being 19 and you go out drinking with your friends and you have, like, 3 Budweisers and you're comatose? But your friend says, how many drinks you have last night? And you're like, 50. Then you get into your mid-30s and you actually go day drinking and consume 50 pints and then come home and, like, throw up on a cat and go to the toilet in the cupboard. But the moment your partner says to you, how many drinks did you have last night? You're like, 2. I think that second one was a bad one. I was really drunk. I was that level of drunk where I've now gone to the toilet and now I can't stop going to the toilet. Like, have you ever been that drunk? You've broken the seal and now you can't stop pissing. It doesn't even look like piss anymore, does it? It's so clear. It doesn't it? It doesn't look... Have you ever had that drunk thought where you're like, taste it? Can't believe it. Unless you have. I haven't in you, because right, that's disgusting. Why would you bring that up? I haven't. I was really drunk, and a fight kicked off. This guy threw a drink in this lady's face, and then he punched a bouncer and tried to run out of the club. And as he's gone to run out, I've gone to lean on the bar because I need a nap. And he tripped over my leg and hit his face in the bar, knocked himself clean out. Now, I'm stood over this dude. And I'll be honest, I was just trying to figure out if I was in the toilet yet or not. And I stood over this guy, and the owner of the bar came up and he shook my hand, and he said, "Well done." I was like, and the barmaid came over and she went, "Yeah, look at him, and he's pissed himself." I was like, yeah, he's... Yeah, he's definitely did that. There's a lot of misconceptions about bouncers as well. People think we know a lot more about star signs than we really do. Like, we don't. We just know that's how to catch you out. Because I don't know, but I also know neither do you. And you always know who in the queue to pick because you can see them practicing. We've all done it outside clubs when you're waiting to go in, going 3rd of the 8th, 94, 3rd of the 8th, 94. Then they get to the front and they're confident. They hand their ID and you go, "Date of birth, please." You go, 3rd of the 8th, 94. You go, "What's your star sign?"
I want to start by thanking the BBC for letting me be on the show. It's like really awesome that they did. I mean, it doesn't pay that well, but it's just really cool to be here. And they've been so generous. They put me up in a hotel right next to a casino in the city, and they didn't have to do that. I'm not criticizing the BBC. It's not their responsibility to know that I have a gambling addiction, because it's about self-knowledge. And when I go to the casino, I only bring the equivalent of $100 to gamble with because I know I can afford to lose that. And I bring $25 for food in case I get hungry, and $800 for bus fare in case I forget something and have to go home a couple hundred times. It's quite a long flight out here, and of course I didn't get to board the airplane first because I don't travel with small children. The people who do travel with small children, they go on before anybody else. It's a nearly universal airline policy, and it's totally unfair. I mean, it's not fair at all. Never mind that I've spent the better part of a quarter of a century flying on the same airline, trying to earn enough status, enough loyalty, that maybe I could board the airplane first. Never mind that. Because that guy right over there made a single bad decision 3 years ago. So roll out the red carpet for His Majesty. And I'm not having to go at kids or parents. In fact, it's in defense of children. Little kids don't want to be jammed on the airplane right away. Small children do not enjoy air travel. And they've been making this abundantly clear for as long as I can remember. In fact, the airline should reverse the policy. They should say, small children stay at the airport till the last minute. They should say, anybody without small children, you may now board the airplane first, that you might enjoy a short moment of zen. Then the attendant would guide us like, okay, everybody just breathe in and release. Okay, here they come. I don't think I'm ready for this. But I also want to admit, in the interest of being open-minded, that I don't know why the kids got aboard first. And maybe there's a really good reason why the kids got aboard first that I don't know about, because I don't get to go on there with them. So I don't know what they do in there. I mean, maybe they got to do like a pre-flight sound check. I'm serious. Maybe they get on the airplane and they're like, wah, wah. Is that good in the back? Can you hear that? Is that sufficiently piercing? Okay, I'm almost ready to let them on. I just want to do a couple seat-kicking warm-ups real quick here first. Check my distance. Get the volume up on that iPad. Turn the volume up on that iPad real good. I want people on the ground to hear me playing Angry Birds. You guys ever worry about the world? I get worried. I watched a documentary recently about how much the pollution from humans is destroying the environment. And after I watched that, I was so upset I couldn't even talk. I just had to go for a really long drive by myself and just think about shit. Alone in my Winnebago. Windows down, air conditioning up. A little bit of hairspray, because when I'm looking good, I'm feeling good.
This happened to me recently on a bus, hungover, public transport, sweating, purple eye bags, no free seat. Everyone knew I was hungover. They were looking at me. They knew I was hungover. Not because of the eye bags or the sweat, but because I was holding Lucozade. Let's get this straight now. Lucozade is not for sport, is it? Come on. Is it? No. You see the ads? The ads, all these blokes, 8-pack, top off, running on the treadmills. Why isn't a body connected to a machine? Lucozade Sport. We all know Lucozade is for the hangover. That ad should just be a man on a bus crying. Head against the bus window. The slogan, Lucozade, buy 2 bottles if you've got work. Then I'd buy that. I was on the bus. I think I can't handle this. There's no seat. It's packed. I need to get off this bus. I need to get off this bus. I thought, no, I'll risk it. I'll go upstairs. I'm going to go upstairs. I'll go upstairs on the bus. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do it. I put my foot on the first step, which, as we all know, allows the driver to know to speed up. Trying to get up the steps on a bus is like being on an episode of Takeshi's Castle, isn't it? I got to the top of the stairs. No free seat. There is no moment in life you look a bigger dick than when 38 people are looking at you and all they see is
I actually haven't been well recently. Oh, stop it, honestly, I don't want to talk about it. But if you insist. I really haven't, though, so that's why I'm delighted to get here today. I was rushed to A&E recently with terrible abdominal problems. Just hideous pains all up and down my tummy and around my sides. And I was rushed to A&E. And for about 3 hours, I thought, and anyone here who ever read a magazine as a teenager will know what I mean, especially the girls. I thought that I was about to have a surprise baby. Do you know the way there's those stories in the magazine going, well, everything was normal, nothing was different, everything was regular. Well, then I went to the toilet and I looked in the toilet and there was a baby in the toilet. And I had a surprise baby. There was always that, and that's when I thought it was. But you'll be happy to know that actually it was, I'm bringing sexy back, a gut infection. A gut infection. But the worst part of the whole situation was that the doctor in A&E was really, really handsome. And I think doctors who are handsome should be struck off. I really do. I wanted someone with a sort of mashed potato head that I could feel at one with. But instead, this man was really handsome. He said to me, what seems to be the problem? And I was like, well, doctor, my problem is that I'm too cute. Chase me. I mean, how could I tell him that I thought I was having a surprise baby or else I was waiting for a poo? I mean, you couldn't, And once we find out which one it is, do you want to go for a drink? It's really quite terrible. But by the way, you might notice that I talk quite fast. And if I'm honest, it's not really going to slow down too much, so you'll have to sort of jump on the Venga bus of enthusiasm and beep the horn with this one. I think that the reason I talk quite fast is because I was brought up in the countryside, in the deepest, darkest countryside, where there was no one for miles and miles around. Just this giant expanse of land with no one to talk to. And it was very, very lonely. You'd have no one to speak to during the day. I mean, a very backwards existence, lads. Like, our clothes are made of mud. Our hats were made of leaves. We had no access to things like pot noodles. We just had to sort of pour boiling water on top of birds' nests if we didn't feel like cooking one evening. A really backwards existence. And crows everywhere. Crows. In the city, there's pigeons everywhere, but in the countryside, there's crows everywhere. And it makes everything you do seem really ominous. You'd open the window and it'd be like, bark, 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 bark. Well, that seems a bit ominous. You'd be standing innocently over a dead body in a field. Oh, God, this one seems a bit ominous. But the reason that I think I talk quite fast is because I'd have no one to talk to during the day. And so some days, the only person you'd have to talk to would be a passing car flying along the road. So you had to learn to talk fast if you wanted to talk to anyone. You'd be like, hi, how's it going? Oh my God, come back and talk to me. Do you like my new dress? Stay and be my friend. This sort of thing. Some days you'd be waiting for a tractor to come along, because you get more time out of a tractor, you see. You get to talk to them for longer. You'd be like, hi, how's it going? Do you like Sesame Street? I like Sesame Street. Oh, you do like Sesame Street? Sometimes I think Big Bird might not be a big bird, but he might just be a man in a suit. I know it sounds bad, but I have my suspicions. Goodbye, come back.
As much as you want to save animals, I'm pretty sure you're not going to do it by buying cosmetics. Pretty sure you can't walk into the body shop and buy some burdock root peppermint oil foot scrub, and some little badger somewhere in Scotland is going to go, wow, I feel a whole lot better about my life right now. Somebody's buying that burdock root peppermint oil foot scrub. I don't see the point in testing cosmetics on rabbits anyway, because they're already cute. Slather some lip gloss and eyeliner all over them. Now they're all gussied up like some $3 whore. There's no dignity in that for a rabbit whatsoever. You want to test out cosmetics? Test them out on big game, because they stink. Get up under a hippopotamus there and get some roll-on deodorant under his armpit. See how fresh and self-assured he stays all day, huh? Little lip gloss on a beaver. Real beaver. Stay with me, fella. Real beaver. Right? Dam-building, log-eating beaver. If he's charged through 60 logs and he's still wearing that lip gloss, that's some damn good lip gloss right there, ladies and gentlemen. You know this whole thing about, you ever meet someone famous and you tell your friends, and then they say, well, what was he like? Because all they really want to hear is that he was a prick. That's why they like to say Tom Cruise is the nicest guy in Hollywood. And I always think, well, if I was making $8 million a film, I'd be nice too. Jesus Christ. But I'm not sure he is that nice. Because I always read these articles about how he's so insular and he's into his Scientology, and he, stays at a hotel, won't make eye contact with anyone in the hotel because he doesn't want to talk about the plots to his new films. Apparently, as if staring Tom Cruise in the face, he would just crack under pressure. What are you staring at? Hey, you want to hear about my new film? You ever seen a Tom Cruise film like it couldn't figure out the plot in about 18 seconds? Oh, Christ. He's a cocktail maker. He's a pretty good cocktail maker, too. Till he has a crisis of confidence and can't make cocktails anymore. Then he meets a good-looking woman who talks him into being a better cocktail maker. A riveting piece of cinema that was. Then he's a race car driver. Pretty good race car driver, too. So he has a crisis of confidence. Can't race cars anymore. Then he meets a good-looking woman and talks him into being a better race car driver. Then he's a jet pilot. Some of you are starting to see a pattern emerge here. Pretty good jet pilot? Yes, he was. Until he had a crisis of confidence, couldn't fly jets anymore. Then I believe he met a good-looking woman who talked him into being a better jet pilot. Then he was a sports agent. Then he was the brother of a retarded guy. He was a pretty good brother of a retarded guy until he had a crisis of confidence and wasn't so sure he was such a good brother of a retarded guy. And then he met a good-looking woman who talked him into being a better brother of a retarded guy. Then he was some kind of, I don't know what he's in now, War of the Worlds. Maybe he fights the world. You know what? I bet he's a pretty good world fighter. But at some point he'll probably have a crisis of confidence. You're gonna meet a good-looking woman who convinces him it's okay to fight the world. Could be a Scrabble player for all I care. He's a pretty good Scrabble player. Until he draws all vowels. Has a crisis of consonants. And he meets a lovely Welsh woman who teaches him a lot of words he's never heard before.
I don't know about you guys, but I feel like it's too expensive to be dating right now in this economy, man. All my go-to moves for dating, I can't even afford them no more. I'm pissed off, you know. I used to do the Netflix and chill. That was my go-to move, but that subscription is too much right now. I can't afford it, okay? If I had to downsize, I tell girls, baby, we're gonna have to Wikipedia and chill. That's my new move right now. That's where we read the plot of the movie by candlelight. Take it or leave it. Also, bring your phone. We're using your data, by the way. You better be on gift app. As you go, you gotta go. Those are the rules, you know. There's consequences to that, though. I had a girl break up with me just because I didn't have money, and she got a new boyfriend. He's a nice guy, I know, because I stalk him online sometimes. He's a really nice man. Treats my girl really well, he really does. He buys her expensive handbags and things like that, and that's when I realized I can't compete, man. I can't compete with that. I never even bought this girl a bag for life, not one time. That's true. I'll be in Tesco like, baby, you better put that cheese in your pocket. We're not spending that 50p right there. These gold diggers want my plastic bags. They can't have them. That's my bag right there. I'm not a big fan of social media, man. I'm really not. Because I feel like with social media, when you break up with somebody, you can see what they're up to online. I don't like that. I prefer in the past where you broke up with somebody, you could just lie to yourself and pretend that they were still unhappy. That was a good era. I like that. You just be lying to yourself. You be like, man, she probably missing me all the time. She probably sad, you know. Now you just go on her Instagram and you're like, oh no, she 100% made the right decision. Good for her, man. I haven't seen her smile like this in years, in fact. She's thriving. She got 3 bags for life in one photo. She leveled up for real, bet. Congratulations to you, baby, you know. Do you know, when it comes to dating, I feel like the most important thing is finding somebody that you're compatible with, someone you have that connection with. For example, I used to date this girl, me and her got on really well, but there was a problem, and that was she liked dogs, right? Don't get me wrong, I like dogs too, but she liked dogs too much, you know? She liked dogs too much. She used to kiss her dog. That was weird, you know? I don't even know what was weirder. Was it the fact that she would kiss her dog, or the fact that when she did, the dog would make eye contact with me the whole time? That's a weird power play. I said, this dog is an alpha. I don't feel safe in this relationship. This is a toxic masculinity dog right here. I gotta go. I caught that dog listening to Andrew Tate. I said, I'm out of here. I can't do this no more. I've been reading up about that. That's the new thing, toxic masculinity, man. You know, I keep hearing women say men are trash. You know, I don't think anybody's asking the important questions. Are they recyclable? I feel like that's the kind of stuff we gotta ask. Can we make this toxicity carbon neutral? Maybe, I don't know, you know. I like to think I'm a good guy, but even as a good guy, I make small mistakes sometimes, innocent mistakes. You ever been in that situation as a man, a really awkward situation, you're walking home late at night and there's a woman in front of you and it's dark and there's a lot of tension in the air. You can feel the tension, right? Obviously, I can understand why the woman's feeling tense, but I'm feeling tense too, okay? I'm a good guy, I just want that woman to relax, we both go about our day. But apparently, it makes it worse in that situation if you shout out, I'm not gonna hurt you. Like, that makes the situation more tense. Sometimes they run faster when you do that. Don't do that, guys. Don't Don't jump out of bush and do that. Women don't like that, okay? One time I was walking behind this woman late at night. I know it sounds like there's a pattern emerging. I'm not doing this on purpose. I just woke off the night bus at the same time. It's unfortunate, you know. But I'm walking behind this woman. I was like, I don't want to make the same mistake from last time, shout something out, do something dumb. So I thought it'd be a good idea if I did something non-verbal to help put the woman at ease, okay? I thought it'd be a good idea if I started whistling at night because I thought that would make the atmosphere more jovial. No, it doesn't. Makes it way creepier to my surprise, actually. Especially if you're like me and you don't even know how to whistle properly. So then you're just a guy who's blowing in the wind in the dark real slow, like... Look like a creepy dinosaur, you can't do that.
You do a thing in the UK called pre-drinks. Pre-drinks, all right? Some people call it prinks, because they don't even have time to pronounce the whole word before they get on it, all right? Pre-drinks. I had no idea what it was. I had to ask my friend. I was like, Dai, what the hell are pre-drinks? He said, Ignacio, it's great. We drink at home before we go out to go drinking. I said, that is the stupidest shit I've ever heard in my life. I said, why would you do this? He said, you know, just to warm up to get ready to go drinking. I said, that doesn't make any sense, all right? You don't do it for anything else, do you? You don't go, we're going to go to the cinema, pop a fucking DVD in before we go to the cinema. Just fire up the old Netflix and do shots of popcorn. Is it made before we go down to the cinema? Craziness. Everything revolves around booze, okay? People in this country start drinking around about 13, 14 years of age. Does that feel about right? 13, 14. Some of you, depending on where you're from, younger, some of you older, all right? I get that. But I came over, I visited as a teenager, and I found out the way it works, all right? I was trying to fit in, and they were like, right, what we're gonna do, we're gonna go down drinking in the park, all right? We're gonna go drinking in the park as teenagers, all right? I was like, right, they go, right, we're gonna steal booze from our parents, and we're gonna go down the park, all right? I was like, okay, no problem. So I showed up to the park, all right? Feeling like Jason Bourne or something in my backpack, and I think, pull out the stuff, all right? What's in there? They were like, what the hell is Rioja? Like, it's Rioja. Does anyone have a corkscrew, actually? Because otherwise we're gonna be for a while. The thing is, like, kids do that, and if they can't steal the booze from their parents, what they do is they'll stand by an off-license, all right? And they will wait for somebody to walk past who looks just dodgy enough, but not too dodgy, so they can offer them money and go, hey, can you go in the shop for me and pick me up some beer, some vodka, whatever, we can go down drink in the park, and that person will go get the cash, and then you go there, you get shit-faced as teenagers, it bonds you, okay? It brings you together. At least that was my experience, okay, back in the day. But times have changed, all right? I went to back where my mother's from, okay? My mother's from a little town in Wales called Pontardawe, all right? Don't know if anyone's heard of it. Tiny little town, Pontardawe. Pontardawe is a Welsh word, all right? Pont means bridge, and Dawe means over a shithole, okay? It's not a delightful place to move to from Mallorca, is what I'm trying to say. Right? My mother hates that joke. She's like, Ignacio, please stop saying that. They've taken all of the trolleys out of the canal, all right? Can we... But I was visiting and I was walking to see my mother and I passed an off-license, okay? And there's this kid stood by the off-license as I'm passing, all right? And he clocks me and I've got my guitar on my shoulder, so he's thinking, this guy's got no prospects. So he comes over to me with his cash, all right? And he was like, hey, could you maybe go in the shop? I'm like, I know where this is going. He goes, can you pop in the shop? I'm like, right. He goes, if I give you this money? I'm like, yep. And he goes, and get me some? I was like, I know where we're going. He goes, vape. I was like, what? He goes, vape. I said, seriously, vape? He said, yeah. I said, what flavor? He said, cherry. I was like, of course, cherry vape. All right, rock and roll. I go in the shop. I'm laughing to myself. I can't believe these kids asked me for cherry vape. How times have changed, all right? I go up to the counter. The guy behind the counter must have thought I was insane, all right? I'm laughing the whole way through the shop. I grab the stuff, pay for it, put it in the bag. I walk out. I'm laughing on the way out. I give the kid the bag. I go, there you go, pal. 20 Marlboro Red and a bottle of vodka. Grow up, you little shit. What is this? Vape nonsense.
All the all of the parenting stresses me out. All of it. Like right from the beginning, when you're pregnant, you've got to think of a name for your kid. You're like, right, we're going to have to name it. That's tradition. Going to have to give it a name. And it's hard to think of a name for a kid because that's their name. That's going to be their name all their life if it pans out. And I'm an indecisive person. I struggle to think of passwords for websites, and you get help for that, don't you? Like, oh no, weak. And names go in and out of fashion, don't they? Some names, they can be in fashion, but they don't come back in. We all know those names. And I tell you a thing that's back in fashion now, and I find it fascinating, is virtue names, right? That is back in fashion. Those virtue names is a sort of Victorian notion that if you name your kid after a virtue, they might live up to that virtue. But that's risky business, isn't it? That's hubris. I wouldn't risk it. You could call your son Victor. He could end up a bit of a loser. Ernest, he could become a bullshitter. Grace is an ever-popular name. I wouldn't risk it. You could call your daughter Grace. She could end up a sort of galumphing oaf. Sucking her head on low beams. Falling into crockery at dinner parties. You'd be like, oh, come on, Grace. Do your laces up, babe. Stop farting. Prudent, she'll end up lip deep in debt, won't she? Chastity. Although my son is called Frank. Someone said to me, you've done it, innit? You've called your son Frank. That's a virtue. To be honest, to be above board, to be trustworthy. I was like, oh, shit, never thought of that. He'd end up an estate agent now, isn't he? He's funny, Frank. I think he's funny. I would say that, wouldn't I? Because I'm his mum. He's not funny. My child's funny. Tell a joke. Look at 774 pictures of my child. But I think he's funny, right? I went to pick him up from school the other day. I pick him up every day because they get proper arsey if you don't. They do. They ring you. They're like, where are you? I'm like, TK Maxx. Where are you? Oh, all right then, yeah. So, yes, I went to pick him up from school. And I was late, and I wasn't being very laid back that day. I was running a bit late, a bit stressed. I had my eldest with me. I had my mate's 2 kids that were coming back for tea. I thought we'd just get him and go. He's in reception. I was like, right, we'll just get off, yeah? But the teacher stopped me. She went, can you wait, actually? Can we have a quick chat? In that, voice. So I had to arrange my face into one of those mum pretending to give a shit faces. I said, go on, what's he done? She said, do you want to tell Mummy what you did today, Frank, or shall I tell Mummy? He's got upset now. He's like, you tell Mummy. I'm like, what's he done? What? She said, look, today, Frank stuck a digit up the teaching assistant's bottom. That's not ideal, is it? It's very difficult to know what to do with your face. I was going through all the faces in my phone. She said, we've talked about bodies, haven't we, Frank? And areas of bodies that we respect. I thought now would be a really bad time to go, this is awful. I mean, this is a finger up the TA's... I mean, this is now they're teaching numeracy in primary education now. It's not like, oh, if Frank's got one finger up the TA's arse, how many fingers are still on the outside?
I'm freaking out. So the head hangs there for about 10, 12 minutes. Finally, the midwife says, it's almost here. It's time. If your wife gives one more push, he'll arrive. So my wife went... Baby went... I put the TV to mute. And I leapt across the front room. And I caught him. And I was the first person to make contact with our son. He was a little boy out, and he was there in my hands, all warm and new. And it's one of the most overwhelming things you will ever do. And I tell you now, I was in pieces. I was in floods of tears. My wife was crying. The midwife was crying. And your mind just becomes a mush. I mean, to this day, I can't explain why I did what I did next. It was so emotional. Maybe it's because I'm Welsh, I don't know. But I went... Well, thank God we hadn't cut the cord. He shot back! It was Junior Bungee. He ended up lying on the floor with all this umbilical cord snaking around the room back to his mother, yards of it. I thought, what the hell do we do now? I needn't have worried. Calm as a cucumber, the midwife walked over to my wife. She put her left foot on my wife's right foot and pressed hard. And just like a hoover, the cord went... And that's why we called him Henry.
Posting naked or almost naked pictures online to show how confident we are. And in all the comments, other women will be like, "You are so brave." Well, I really just think that means not a model. Also, it's not brave. There's no soldier looking down at that picture being like, "Oh, what a brave lady." You know, a man posts a naked picture, he just loses custody of his kids. And if showing your weird body's brave, then the guy that masturbated in front of me on the subway is very brave. Because he had a real weird body. And he was making weird faces. He might be the bravest man I know. But that's the thing, we're supposed to care so much about our bodies as women, you know? And there's even campaigns that we should love our bodies and be confident in our bodies. Or we could just stop caring about it. Because you know who doesn't care about their bodies? Men. You know what men are? Successful. Men are presidents, men are CEOs. You've never heard a CEO go, "I want to get profits up and keep costs down and love me for me." 3 p.m. we're going to have a meeting about how I can accept the fact that I have my mother's thighs. You know who should care about their bodies? Men. You have weird bodies, men. You're gross. Your balls are gross. I've never seen a guy be like, "Oh, I can't wait to get his pants off and see that weird bag of stuff between his legs." What is it? It's like when you go to a haunted house and you stick your hand in a jar, you're like, "Please be grapes." Balls seem like a real god whoopsie. It's like when you're putting together furniture and you got a couple leftover screws and you're like, "Well, those were supposed to go somewhere. I guess I'll hang them from a satchel." Even the name sounds like a mistake. What are you gonna call him? Scrotum. Okay. This is how you knew God didn't care about balls at all. Everything else important he covered in bone. Balls, he was like, "Let them fly." You are so lucky we get our faces near them. If a woman puts your balls in her mouth, you should pay her a lot of money. And not in like a prostitute way, in like a, I don't know how else to say thank you. This is a very nice thing you just did to me. And you didn't get any pleasure out of it. There's not a single woman that's like, "That's what does it for me." You were more of a saint than Mother Teresa for that. There's no way she ever did it. Career is over. I had to put paint on my face just to leave my home. And you guys get to walk around those wrinkly, dangly bags of crap. You should have to put makeup on them. At the very least, googly eyes. I don't know if that'd be better or worse, it'd be fun. He's happy, he's sad. He lost his boner. You guys get away with calling our boobs saggy. Your balls are saggy. You should wear a bra. And you make it fancy. those women clapping, they meant yours.
I grew up in Dudley, in the West Midlands. Yeah, a lot of people grow up there because that's the only thing there is to do. What are you doing? Growing. In the 50s, my parents emigrated from Jamaica to Dudley. Yeah, Nancy, I'm going to say that again just for you. They emigrated from Jamaica to Dudley. Why? What was my dad thinking? Bloody blue sky all the time. I want hail and sleet and snow. All this joyous reggae music. Where can a man get some Des O'Connor? We need pack your bags, we're going to Dudley. They made me go to church every Sunday. The Pentecostal Church of God in Prophecy. See, that's a black name. White churches are always called things like St. Thomas's. We're all outside going, St. Thomas's what? St. Thomas's Epiphany of the Shining Light of God in Christ in West Bromwich? Now, that's a name. You arrived late for church. Sorry I'm late, I was reading the signs. It's as good as Stephen King. I went to Blue Coat Secondary Modern School in Dudley. A lot of bullying there. I mean, you know, back in the day it was different as well. You get punched in the face, you keep it to yourself. Nowadays you go straight to the head teacher. Peter Wilkins has been punching me every day since the start of term. I'm not going to teach him anymore. I got a daughter, 17. She's got a pet name for me. Taxi. Yeah, because the only time I see her is in the car, and even then she gets in the back. I'm like, how was school? She's like, you're not one of those cabbies who's going to talk all the time, are you? Her childhood's different from mine. I mean, you know, when I was a kid, it felt like everybody in Dudley had permission to beat me. It wasn't just my mum. You know, I'd be mucking about in the street, suddenly, bam, Mrs. Fearon from number 14 slapped me around the face. Then she'd drag me to my house and tell my mum, Mrs. Henry, I saw Len misbehaving in the street, so I beat him for you. Do you know what my mother said to this woman? Thank you very much. I have 6 other children, help yourself anytime. We made a documentary in Dudley about my mum last year. My brother Paul said this on camera, no word of a lie. Lynn, when mum used to beat you, we used to think it was really funny. Bastards! Where's the solidarity in that? I'm getting my arse tore up, they're eating popcorn, they've pulled up chairs. Oh, it's not as funny as last week. Mom, work the ribs now, work the ribs. Mom, Harley Shuffle, remember? Harley, Boombaye. Mom, like Popeye, remember? Febida, 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 febida. When Mom used to beat me, she always said the same thing. I'm not doing this for me, it's for your own good. What parents are insane? I'm not doing this for me, it's for your own good. All the white people, what kind of parenting is that? Lamar's like, yeah, me too. Oh, man. You know what I'd like to see on television? Jamaican Super Nanny. Beat him if it's been bad, beat him if it's been good. Beat him to show how much you love him. Beat him till your arms hurt so much. You have to beat if I'm making your arms hurt so much. She wouldn't mess about, would she? All right, no. This is what I call the naughty cheer. What's that for? You pick it up and you beat him with it. I'm not doing this for me, it's for your horn rotting good.
I grew up loving trains, right? But there's one thing about the trains, other than the fact that I want them to run on time, that I really need them to change, right? And it's this announcement that goes, see it, say it, sorted. Have you heard this? Now, if you those that haven't, see it, say it, sorted is an announcement on trains, which basically means if you see something suspicious, call the British Transport Police. But we all know what they really mean by suspicious. If you see a brown bloke with a rucksack, give us a fucking call. Now, I've never liked See It, Say It, Sorted, because for a start, it just raises fear and suspicion constantly. Second, it doesn't get to the heart of the issue, what they really want us to do, which is racial profiling. And third and most importantly, See It, Say It, Sorted doesn't bloody rhyme. Now, this upset me. I said, right, I've got to come up with some alternative options to reflect the reality of the situation and make it a bit more linguistically appealing, right? So I've come up with 2 options to replace See It, Say It, Sorted. By way of cheer, you can tell me which one you prefer, okay? So option number 1 to replace See It, Say It, Sorted. Seen a muso? If so, let us know. Average? Okay. Option number 2. Don't be wacky, reporter. Hey! You little racist pieces of... Gotcha! I'm in my late 30s at the moment, and a lot of my friends are already kind of parents of toddlers. Do we have any parents of toddlers in at the moment? Give me a cheer. Yeah, you are the worst human beings on the planet. I hate each and every single one of you, right? Because parents of toddlers nowadays, my God, they feel the need to show that they love their child when they're in public. Like, get on a train. You'll 100% see this. They'll be like, Oscar, we're on a train. Did you bring your bag with you today, darling? I know there are lots of people on the train, aren't there? What's that? You want to press the button even though they're waiting? Don't worry about them. I'll read you a story first, yeah, Oscar? I love you, Oscar. I love you, Oscar. I really love you, Oscar. Fuck off! I understand and assume that you love your child. I don't need to see this performance parenting. Now, I don't have any children. I've got a little nephew. When I get my nephew along, I think to myself, I don't want to miss out on the opportunity to be a complete dick in public. So I get my nephew, I sit him down, I say, hello, Ali. We are on a train. Did you bring your rucksack with you today? I know, there are lots of people on the train. What's that? You want to press a button, do you? All the parents shut the hell up. And there's a woman in the corner going, see it, say it, sort it.
I've got the memory of an elephant. I remember one time I went to the zoo and saw an elephant. I was disappointed to find that Dunkirk wasn't actually a biography of William Shatner. I accidentally kicked my dog early and it bit me on the bollocks. My mate said it's karma. I said, no, if anything, it's even more angry. I tell you what always catches my eye, short people with umbrellas. I put on a lot of weight, so I rang up Weight Watchers. I said, it's an emergency, can you send somebody round? And they said, yes, we can, we got loads of them. I was actually thrown out of Weight Watchers for making sarcastic comments at the weekly weigh-in. As you can imagine, I accepted the decision with huge grace, because they threw her out as well. I was watching TV, the announcer said there's a documentary about the clitoris on the red button, but I couldn't find it. I was in a fancy lingerie shop. I said, are these knickers satin? He said, no, they're new. I didn't know what to get my little niece for Christmas, so I asked my sister what she's into. Apparently at the moment she's mad about frozen stuff, so I got her some oven chips and peas. It's been a tough week. I got myself a memory foam mattress and now it's trying to blackmail me. As a child, I was made to walk the plank. We couldn't afford a dog. I went on a positive thinking course. It was shit. You would be. And it was half empty. The area in a Nando's between the front and back door is called the peri-perineum. What I like most about that joke is that people who know what a perineum is usually haven't heard of Nando's. Ironically, there's only a very small overlap between the two. The doctor told me to lose some weight. I said, how? He said, don't eat anything fatty. I said, what, pies, chips, that sort of thing? He said, no, just don't eat anything fatty. Old lady names are very much back in fashion at the minute, like Lily or Elsie or Rose, and we wanted something like that for our daughter, but we couldn't decide, so in the end we just called her Nan. So we shall grow into it.
I grew up in Dudley, in the West Midlands. Yeah, a lot of people grow up there because that's the only thing there is to do. What are you doing? Growing. In the 50s, my parents emigrated from Jamaica to Dudley. Yeah, Nancy, I'm going to say that again just for you. They emigrated from Jamaica to Dudley. Why? What was my dad thinking? Bloody blue sky all the time. I want hail and sleet and snow. All this joyous reggae music. Where can a man get some Des O'Connor? We need pack your bags, we're going to Dudley. They made me go to church every Sunday. The Pentecostal Church of God in Prophecy. See, that's a black name. White churches are always called things like St. Thomas's. We're all outside going, St. Thomas's what? St. Thomas's Epiphany of the Shining Light of God in Christ in West Bromwich? Now, that's a name. You arrived late for church. Sorry I'm late, I was reading the signs. It's as good as Stephen King. I went to Blue Coat Secondary Modern School in Dudley. A lot of bullying there. I mean, you know, back in the day, it was different as well. You get punched in the face, you keep it to yourself. Nowadays, you go straight to the head teacher. Peter Wilkins has been punching me every day since the start of term. I'm not going to teach him anymore. I got a daughter, 17. She's got a pet name for me. Taxi. Yeah, because the only time I see her is in the car, and even then she gets in the back. I'm like, how was school? She's like, you're not one of those cabbies who's going to talk all the time, are you? Her childhood's different from mine. I mean, you know, when I was a kid, it felt like everybody in Dudley had permission to beat me. It wasn't just my mum. You know, I'd be mucking about in the street, suddenly, bam, Mrs. Fearon from number 14 slapped me around the face. Then she'd drag me to my house and tell my mum, Mrs. Henry, I saw Len misbehaving in the street, so I beat him for you. Do you know what my mother said to this woman? Thank you very much. I have 6 other children, help yourself anytime. We made a documentary in Dudley about my mom last year. My brother Paul said this on camera, no word of a lie. Lynn, when mom used to beat you, we used to think it was really funny. Bastards! Where's the solidarity in that? I'm getting my arse tore up, they're eating popcorn, they've pulled up chairs. Oh, it's not as funny as last week. Mom, work the ribs now, work the ribs. Mom, Harley Shuffle, remember? Harley, Boombaye. Mom, like Popeye, remember? Febida, 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 febida. When Mom used to beat me, she always said the same thing. I'm not doing this for me, it's for your own good. What parents are insane? I'm not doing this for me, it's for your own good. All the white people, what kind of parenting is that? Lamar's like, yeah, me too. Oh, man. You know what I'd like to see on television? Jamaican Super Nanny. Beat him if it's been bad, beat him if it's been good. Beating to show how much you love him? Beating till your arms hurt so much, you have to beat it for making your arms hurt so much. She wouldn't mess about, would she? All right, no. This is what I call the naughty cheer. What's that for? You pick it up and you beat him with it. I'm not doing this for me, it's for your horn rotting good.
I'm married to a comedian. Did you know John Richardson? Oh, yeah. Oh, did you know he is? Do you know, because I'm going on tour, my management company, they took a Facebook advert out and someone said, don't read the comments. So I did. There was just one that bothered me, and this guy had put, without trying to be too crude, how many has she had to get the career she's got? I mean, the answer's one, but... It's weird to applause that, isn't it? It's only weird for my granddad who's watching. That's not weird. You've made that weird for an 87-year-old. Anyway, but the thing, because I don't know if you've noticed, but I've started to do a bit of telly now, and I'm in this weird stage where I'm getting recognised, but I'm not used to it yet. And I walked in a pub last night, and there was a woman staring at me, and I thought, what are you fucking looking at? And then I realised, oh, it's me. I did, you know Michael McIntyre's The Wheel? Have you seen it? The game show? I lost someone £98,000. If you've seen the show, you know they go back down in the ground. When he went down, he turned to me and said, I've had a lovely day, thank you. That would have slapped me. We're both vegan now. I'm a vegan that likes steak for the iron, and John's a vegan when he's interviewed on TV. It's a weird life for him, though, you know. As you've seen it through his eyes, the situations we're getting... Because he's been on TV 10 years. We went and did this gig, you know, in a school. And then we parked up, and he turned to me and he said, I've got to go. And I was like, oh, all right then, just wait till you get in. He was like, I've got to go now. And he didn't let me get out. He got on the back seat, and luckily we had a bucket because we've been to Seaside. We've got blacked out windows. And I got out, and there was 2 of his fans waiting for him. And they said, we've come all the way from Rotherham to see John. They said, where is he? I said, he's shitting in a bucket in the back of the car. And they said at the same time, we'll wait. But we're both vegan. And then when we go out for a nice meal, I'll order the steak for the iron. And he'll order butternut squash. And then he'll be looking at my steak and he's not listening to what I'm saying. And so what I do right at the end, I go, oh, I can't eat that last bit. Oh, what a waste, like that. And then we just swap the plates round and it's all in silence. And he eats this bit of steak and the look on his face after he's eaten it is like, you know those Facebook adverts that go viral of the deaf baby when it gets a hearing aid? And here's its mother talk. That's what it's like.
I've realised that the musician I want to be is the drummer from Coldplay. I want to be the drummer from Coldplay so badly because that dude is rich as shit and no one knows who the fuck he is. Who the drummer from Coldplay is. He could be here and no one would know. It could be you, it could be you, it could be you. I'm not sure it's an Indian woman, but it could be. We don't know. I'm obsessed with the idea that this guy has the best life in the world. And I was telling my friend about this, and she tried to tell me something that she was trying to portray as a bad thing. Apparently, he loves Game of Thrones, so he said to HBO, can I be in Game of Thrones? And they were like, yeah, man, you're the drummer from Coldplay. You can do literally anything you want. We'll restart The Sopranos if that's something that will make you happy, right? Now, he is in Game of Thrones. Confession time, I don't watch Game of Thrones, but even I know the Red Wedding is an important episode of Game of Thrones, right? He is in the Red Wedding. Guess what he is doing in the Red Wedding? He is the drummer in the wedding band. That is the extent to which this guy's anonymity is a borderline superpower. He is in the most famous episode of one of the most popular television shows in the world, doing the thing he is famous for, and no one noticed. That is Kaiser Soze shit. And my friend was telling me that she read a supposedly embarrassing story that one of the actors told. One of the actors said that when they were shooting The Red Wedding, he was making small talk with the extras, and he got round to the drummer from Coldplay and said, "Are you a full-time extra?" And the guy was like, "No, I'm a musician." So he said, to the drummer from Coldplay, "Have you played on anything I might have heard of?" To which the drummer from Coldplay was presumably like, have you heard of All Music? Because I'm basically the drummer on All Music. And my friend tried to tell me this, like this was a sad thing. She was like, oh, this guy's in Coldplay, but no one knows that he's in Coldplay. Isn't that sad? No. Because the problem with being in Coldplay is that people hate Coldplay. People hate Coldplay so much. And the people who hate Coldplay don't say things like, oh, it's not to my taste. They say things like this, I hate Coldplay! But what you mean when you say that is, I hate Chris Martin. No one is angry with the drummer from Coldplay. No one has ever been like, oh, the drummer from Coldplay! He's ruined my life! And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Nish, why are you so obsessed with the drummer from Coldplay? There's two other people in that band. We don't know anything about them either. And you know what? You're right. There's a guitar player and a bassist in Coldplay. I wouldn't know them even if they were here. I assume it's you two, but only because he sat next to her and I spoke to her already. That's all I've got to go on at this point. They have the exact same life as the drummer, because I did a bit of research into this. Turns out Coldplay are one of those bands where they split the royalties equally. So they have the exact same life as the drummer, apart from one detail. They have the exact same life as the drummer. They have the same level of wealth, access, and anonymity. But crucially, the drummer is sat down. And that is the dream.
You do a thing in the UK called pre-drinks. Pre-drinks, all right? Some people call it prinks, because they don't even have time to pronounce the whole word before they get on it, all right? Pre-drinks. I had no idea what it was. I had to ask my friend. I was like, Di, what the hell are pre-drinks? He said, Ignacio, it's great. We drink at home before we go out to go drinking. I said, that is the stupidest shit I've ever heard in my life. I said, why would you do this? He said, you know, just to warm up to get ready to go drinking. I said, that doesn't make any sense, all right? You don't do it for anything else, do you? You don't go, we're going to go to the cinema, pop a fucking DVD in before we go to the cinema. Nonsense. Just fire up the old Netflix and do shots of popcorn. Is it made before we go down to the cinema? Craziness. Everything revolves around booze, okay? People in this country start drinking around about 13, 14 years of age. Does that feel about right? 13, 14. Some of you, depending on where you're from, younger, some of you older, right? I get that. But I came over, I visited as a teenager, and I found out the way it works, all right? I was trying to fit in. and they were like, right, what we're gonna do? We're gonna go down drinking in the park, all right? We're gonna go drinking in the park as teenagers, all right? I was like, right. They go, right, we're gonna steal booze from our parents, and we're gonna go down the park, all right? I was like, okay, no problem. So I showed up to the park, all right, feeling like Jason Bourne or something in my backpack, and I think, pull out the stuff, all right, what's in there? They were like, what the hell is Rioja? Like, it's Rioja. Does anyone have a corkscrew, actually? Because otherwise we're gonna be here for a while. The thing is, like, kids do that, and if they can't steal the booze from their parents, what they do is they'll stand by an off license, all right? And they will wait for somebody to walk past who looks just dodgy enough, but not too dodgy, so they can offer them money and go, hey, can you go in the shop for me and pick me up some beer, some vodka, whatever, we can go down drink in the park, and that person will go get the cash, and then you go there, you get shit-faced as teenagers, it bonds you, okay? It brings you together. At least that was my experience, okay, back in the day. But times have changed, all right? I went to back where my mother's from, okay? My mother's from a little town in Wales called Pontardawe, all right? Don't know if anyone's heard of it. Tiny little town, Pontardawe. Pontardawe is a Welsh word, all right? Pont means bridge, and Dawe means over a shithole, okay? It's not a delightful place to move to from Mallorca, is what I'm trying to say, right? My mother hates that joke. She's like, Ignacio, please stop saying that. They've taken all of the trolleys out of the canal, all right? Can we... But I was visiting and I was walking to see my mother and I passed an off license, okay? And there's this kid stood by the off license as I'm passing, all right? And he clocks me and I've got my guitar on my shoulder, so he's thinking, this guy's got no prospects. So he comes over to me with his cash, all right? And he was like, hey, could you maybe go in the shop? I'm like, I know where this is going. He goes, can you pop in the shop? I'm like, right. He goes, if I give you this money? I'm like, yep. And he goes, and get me some. I was like, I know where we're going. He goes, vape. I was like, what? He goes, vape. I said, seriously, vape? He said, yeah. I said, what flavor? He said, cherry. I was like, of course, cherry vape. All right, rock and roll. I go in the shop. I'm laughing to myself. I can't believe these kids asked me for cherry vape. How times have changed, all right? I go up to the counter. The guy behind the counter must have thought I was insane, all right? I'm laughing the whole way through the shop. I grab the stuff, pay for it, put it in the bag. I walk out. I'm laughing on the way out. I give the kid the bag. I go, there you go, pal. 20 Marlboro Red and a bottle of vodka. Grow up, you little shit. What is this? Vape nonsense.
Are any Welsh people out there? Tell them! Tell them how good it is now! Oh, it's not shit anymore! We spent millions, so it's not shit for you. That's the whole... Welsh people, where are you from? Fair enough, it's shit. Yeah, quite right. Yeah. I'm trying to explain that the place has improved and you lob Swansea and just lucky Swansea's still a desperate dump, isn't it? Let's face it. Devoid of any hope whatsoever, Swansea. Have you been? There's a sign on the way in that says, kill our children, not your speed, isn't there? I'm talking about places like Cardiff and the places that have... Yes! These places have improved. We've had development money. We've done... Cardiff Bay, have you been there? Go there on holiday. It's lovely. We've done it all up. You've got cafes and bars. You've got the sea down there now. It's amazing. Shoot, down where the shit was, that's all sea now, most of it. And it's going to be amazing when they finish it. Has anybody seen the posters of what Cardiff Bay is going to be like when it's all done? It's not. It's going to be amazing. There's going to be people chatting, laughing, texting. Welsh people, these are presumably. Having interesting conversations over dinner. We're all going to be a lot better looking by the time it's finished as well. You look out. Where they're going to get these people with fashionable glasses and teeth from in Cardiff, I got no idea. You've got to admire their optimism, haven't you? Fair play. Talking of optimism, you got Cardiff Bay. I was there not long ago. Some of these restaurants, some of them have got tables outside. Al fresco dining in Cardiff. They're having a laugh on me. I tried to have a Twix at a bus stop in Wales a few years ago. It was too wet to eat, to be honest with you. Everybody's pretending it's Madrid. Come on, we'll sit outside. Your soup bowl's filling up faster than you can eat it, for Christ's sake. Stop raining! You never get past your starters after 7 hours of soup and rainwater. You give up. So your gin and tonic's overflowing, the little umbrella's blown inside out. Turn it back into the wind! Turn it back into the wind! As waiters with frosted eyebrows fighting their way to the table. Spaghetti carbonara! Spaghetti carbonara! Sure, I'll get another one! I'll get another one! As people throw in life buoys to their bread rolls. I'll pull you in! I'll pull you in! Peas being airlifted to safety. Oh, Wales is improving. Even the valleys. Go to the valleys on holiday. Even the valleys. They are. Shut your face. They're getting better. They're getting better, the Welsh. I did a gig in Pontypridd. Yeah, in the Welsh valleys. Were you there at the gig I did when there was a piece of sun-dried tomato on the stage? Not bullshit. In a real piece of sun-dried tomato. We couldn't even do the gig. Everybody was just staring at it. I couldn't get them back. I couldn't get their attention. That's not local to your area, is it? The sun-dried tomato. Hey, there was a pile-up in the valleys a few years ago because somebody mentioned satsumas. Did you read about that? Somebody's trod in that, haven't they? That's what's happened. Do you live here now, madam? Do you live here? Are you from the valleys?
My boyfriend is from the valleys.
Your boyfriend? It was probably him that trod in the sun-dried tomato and dragged it all the way back. That's what he probably stepped in the sun-dried tomato in London and took it all the way back to the... He must have been shitting himself on the way back. They'll kill you for that in Pontypridd, won't they? Get it off me! They're gonna kill me! They're gonna kill me! Ditch the shoe! Ditch the shoe!
You don't need to be in the army these days to get a gun if you're a young person. A lot of gun crime on the streets, a lot of caps getting popped. I don't really know the solutions. I just know the problems. It used to be in the UK, at 14 years old, you could legally be in possession of an air rifle. Well, it's not a proper gun, it's still SWAT, right? But that get moved to 17 years old, because you know, 17-year-olds, they're dead responsible. If somebody was pointing a gun at you, you'd be going, that's fine, he looks about 17. He knows what he's done. 17 years old to be in possession of a firearm, but you've got to be 18 before you can be in possession of fireworks. 17, you can shoot somebody dead, but you've got to wait a year before you can frighten the shite out of a cat. But drugs, I get offered drugs quite a lot in this game. You get offered the usual suspects like ecstasy, speed, and a drug called horse tranquilizer. You shouting yay or nay? There. I can understand people who don't know anything about drugs. Maybe trying ecstasy because it sounds quite good. Well, the connotations of the name, ecstasy. You think of states of euphoria and happiness. And then speed is pretty self-explanatory. Then horse tranquilizer. That hardly sounds the most sociable of evenings. The fact of replaced the original name with the effect it has on a horse. I think that's the way every drug should be tested. Give a lot of them to horses, then you can see what it actually does to you. It would also make the Grand National pretty interesting. 20 quid on the one that's breakdancing, please. I was watching a programme about children from the opposite end of the social spectrum. A programme called My Super Sweet 16th. Anybody seen this? Don't get too excited, it's quite shite. I was watching it about 2 o'clock in the morning when the TV's quite shite. Anybody watch late night telly? You ever been up that late at night when the TV just goes, get to bed? There's nothing to see here. Unless you're a deaf baseball fan with a gambling problem. Peter. Has anybody watched these late night Channel 5 phone-in quiz shows? Anybody seen these, like Quiz Mania and The Cash Vault? It's just robbing drunk people. No, you come in at night, there's some guy going, okay, everybody, okay, thanks for watching, okay. For £10,000, we're looking for a guy's name. You come home steaming. I know a guy's name. £10,000. I know a few guys' names.
Now, let me just start by saying, well done to any parents who've made it here tonight. We got parents? Because here's what I've realised. If you've not got children, you're just here. It's easy, but if you're a parent, this is everything. This will have been in the diary for months. There'll be parents in here tonight, don't even care about the show. They're just enjoying sitting in the dark for a bit. That is like a spa day for some of them. I can see them now at the back just going, this is so good. Don't make me go back, John. Don't make me go back. I get it, OK? I've got 2 young children. And my youngest one's Sophia. She's 5 now. I mean, I say she's 5. She's 3 when we go swimming. I'm not an idiot. 4 on a bus, 3 on a train. That's the system, isn't it? I'll be honest, she hasn't got a clue how old she is now, that one. She's so confused. Every birthday is a genuine surprise for all of us. This kid wandering round. How old am I today then, Daddy? Depends what we're doing, darling, doesn't it? Have you checked the spreadsheet? You said Alton Towers. Right, well, getting that baby grow looks small, all right? Not paying 48 quid for you to go on some teacups, that way, mate. Come on. What does Daddy say? Well, get on board with the fraud. There's a good girl. Now stop talking, we're trying to breastfeed you. Listen! You go through that turnstile with a 5-year-old hanging off your tit, they ask no questions. I've got one, why does she have to bite me? But... so she's a great kid. There's just a lot of admin when your kids are that little. Have we got primary school teachers amongst us this evening? Great! I'm glad you're here. Because I can direct all this venom at you. Because here's my problem. My daughter brings home stuff she's made every day under people like you. And I just want to say on behalf of all the parents here tonight, just stop it. We can't deal with it anymore. You don't see it at your end. You just keep sending it. Your carbon footprint is massive. It is. You might as well have driven an oil tanker into a family of puffins, you people. We'll never solve the climate problem with you involved, because it just keeps coming, doesn't it? And it's not arts and crafts anymore. It's emotional landfill. That's what it is. Because Gemma will say, oh, she's put a name on it, so we have to keep it. We don't. We don't. She's not Banksy. Get it in the bin, mate. Do you know what I mean? It's another picture of a sheep out of dried pasta, innit? We've had 4 this week. I tell you, no wonder there's a school meals crisis. Stop sticking it on paper and cook it, you morons. We'll feed these kids for years. I'm just envious of my parents now. Their lives are so simple. Like, they're retired. My dad loves being retired, mainly because he's paying the world back one day at a time for all the misery it's caused him. He sets his alarm 8 o'clock every morning, gets up, gets out into rush hour traffic. Just gets in everyone's way. That is a day out for that man now. Nowhere to go, nothing to do. Sometimes he'll even take the car. But, of course he takes the car. How else would you tow a caravan? But he's a great man. There's a man down here, so it reminds me of my dad, mate. Yeah, you don't look like him. It's just he's bitterly disappointed in me as well. That's fine. For everyone. He's called Roy, my dad, Apollo, which is a very manly name, isn't it? Like, people called Roy come out the womb already able to grout a bathroom. That's how hard that name is. He was born by caesarean section, my dad. I reckon the first thing he did was turn around to his own mother and give her a quote for the damage. Just came out with a pencil. That's all right. We'll plaster over that. Don't worry. See you next week.
There was a man, and he had just crumbled to the floor. He had his head in his hands, and we've all been there. We know exactly what's happened. All of us have felt like that. But because it's London, we just walk past. We just walk past. Oh, I wouldn't want to embarrass him with any empathy. Probably only room in that pit of despair for one. Oh, just whiz past. My puppy doesn't know the rules. And so he ran between the man's legs, up his chest, and started licking him on the face. And the man stared back at him, and they had this beautiful communion. And that's when I realised that my puppy is the baby Jesus. Because that's exactly what Jesus would have done. Just loved him. I don't know if Jesus would have eaten all of the man's cigarette butts. I don't know how often Jesus ate off the floor. It's one of those details they've left out of the Bible because it would undermine Jesus' other great work, wouldn't it? Like, oh, Jesus, lovely parables, and didn't the courtyard look clean after he'd been round? I'm going to talk about Jesus because it's his birthday. I'm not trying to convince you of anything, but there are details that have been left out of the Bible. When I was growing up, I always thought Jesus must have loved the story of his own birth. Wouldn't he? To him, as a child, it would have been absolutely amazing. He'd be like, tell me again, Mum, tell me again. And then his mum's like, all right, okay. So, well, I was asleep, and then the angel came down, done me in the ear. And then I woke up, I turned to Joseph, I said, I'm having a baby, it's not yours. He was all right about it. Then 9 months later, we had to go Bethlehem. Oh, and it was chock-a-block. There was nowhere to stay. We ended up living in this stable. I only got 2 on TripAdvisor. Actually, it was very nice. The hay was clean. There was a little donkey. Shepherds came with cute little lambkins. And then these wise men turned up with very expensive presents. The end. Tell me again, Mum, tell me again. So the story of my birth, slightly different. My parents did meet in an unusual way. My dad was in a pop band in the 70s, and my mum was a fan of that band. So she went to all of his recordings and concerts, and she played a long game. She waited until my dad wasn't in the band anymore. She was the only person still sleeping outside of his house. My dad eventually felt sorry for her. They had a one-night stand, got pregnant with me. My mum told my dad she was having a baby. He told her she had to get an abortion. She said if he didn't marry her, she'd kill herself. Tell me again, Mum. So, the second problem with my puppy is he's interfering with my sex life, which I wasn't expecting. He's a dog. I thought he doesn't know what we're doing. It's fine. You can carry on with your romantic life. He likes to watch. He's absolutely fascinated, which is very off-putting. You don't want to meet eyes with your puppy when you've got a dick in your mouth. It's very distracting. And also, he's got incredible timings with his vocalizations. If I am lost in the moment, I'll be like, That's how I sound. And my boyfriend, he's much more like, and then the puppy goes,
You know, when I found out that I was going to do this gig, I immediately put together a message and I pinged it out on our family WhatsApp group to my husband and my children, because that is the kind of rock and roll comic I am. And my son, my teenage son, wrote back to me at once, and his message said, "Thug life chose you, brah." And I was like, oh shit, my child has joined a gang. I mean, what kind of language is this? Thug and bra. It had 2 R's, but he's a terrible speller. And I was like, oh no. And the other thing is I thought, this message is not for me. This idiot has sent me a message by mistake, which is for a gang member. What if the next message is something much worse? And that really bothered me because, well, this was my moment. I am going to Apollo. Like, if I'm going to find out you're a criminal, can we do it next month? So I wrote back to him in all caps, because as a good Indian mother, I mainly shout at my children. I wrote back, "This is your mom." And he wrote back, "I know, gigging like a boss." Thank you. A boss. Yeah, B-A-W-S-E, boss. And also, please do remember as you listen to the rest of my set this evening that I didn't choose it, but the thug life chose me. That's right. So I have kids. Of course you love your kids and it's difficult to raise them. Small kids are very easy, I find. The biggest downside of having a very small child is they are very boring. Yeah, they want to show you they love you by talking to you all the time, but everything they know you already know. I mean, literally zero value add in any of those conversations. But you do it anyway because they're your kids, you know? And you know what people say? Small kids, small problems, big kids, bigger problems. And the reason is that as your kids get older, you have to discipline them properly. And I find this very stressful because I'm born and raised in India. So what I consider robust, healthy, high-quality parental discipline is frowned upon in this part of the world. That's not true. It's illegal. I know because I have checked. And I want to have really well-behaved kids, but that is no use to me if I am in jail. So I had to learn what you guys do here, and the big thing here is teach your kids about action and consequence using a multitude of techniques. So you have something called star chart. You know what star chart is? Yeah, no, let me tell you, sir. Star chart is you find something vaguely not negative that your child possibly might be able to do and then work it into the conversation and give them a star. Thank you for not kicking me in the face today. Here's a star. And then the other one, action and consequence, naughty step. You've been terribly behaved. Kindly go relax on the staircase.
Do you love London? I love London. I feel like London is created by the people, right? Who are just crazy and sexy and ambitious. I got into an Uber the other day, not bragging, and I got into an Uber and the driver, he said, would you like to have the radio on? And I was like, oh, I don't mind, it's up to you. And then he said, well, actually, I make my own music. Do you mind if I put some of that on? No, I don't. And then he put on Drake's new album. I wonder how often it works. I wonder how often there's a middle-aged white woman thinking, oh, well, he looks like Aladdin and he sounds like confidence personified. Pull over and jump in the back, Nikolai. I'm having a good life. I have recently started doing yoga, which is just change. Yes, woo for the yoga over there. Are you a team? Come to... I'm new to it. I love it. Yoga has changed my life. It's brilliant. Yoga is my new drug. My old drug was drugs. Which I'm not going to say anything positive about because it would be incredibly irresponsible. I'm not going to say anything positive about drug taking. What I will say is I didn't take MDMA until I was 32, and it was such a relief to know I could be happy. Just see the equipment's broken. But yoga is nearly as good, and there's no downsides. It's given me a whole new language. My favourite new word is namaste. Yeah, it's a very old word, it's very sacred, and it means the yoga has finished now. And then you're allowed to leave. I think that the key to being happy as you get older is self-acceptance. Like, I have to accept things about myself now. Like, I'm 36, I thought I would have children by now, and I don't. In an ideal world, what I wanted to self-fertilise. I wanted to have children that were exactly my genetics so that I could show them to my parents and go, see, it was my childhood, they're fine. Science can't do that yet. And then I had a crazy day last month where I just thought, I'm just going to buy some sperm. I'm just going to buy some sperm off the internet. I've got a good job. I'm just going to buy some sperm. Guys, sperm is so much more expensive than I thought it was going to be. It is tens of thousands of pounds. We are all wasting a valuable resource. 17-year-old me would have been a millionaire if I'd learned how to catch it and chuck it in the freezer. It's a shock. I do think self-acceptance is the key. Like, there's things about myself I don't like, but I just have to accept now that they're not going to change. This is who I am. Like, so for instance, I don't like art. I think art is rubbish. I think lots of people think art is rubbish, but we're too worried of looking stupid, so we go along with it. I think that the worst art form is theatre. Right, okay, I can sense how unpopular this opinion is. Hear me out. I think theatre is diabolical. Look, I do, look, and also, I'm aware, if you're a performer of some kind, if you're an actor, look, please don't be offended. I don't mean being in the play. Obviously, if you're the person in the play that gets to put a wig on and walk up and down and move your arms and project your voice, saying things like, I think you'll find you're contradicting yourself, Alan. Fun. Having to watch it. Dear Christ. I can't concentrate. I can't lose myself in the story. I know that it's not real because I'm surrounded by people eating crisps. And they don't let you look at your phone. So all you're thinking is, well, how long has it been?
I'm a romantic, that's my problem. I love romance. Oh, I want to be in a relationship. I want to try edible pants. You can't edible solo, they don't let you. I'm absolutely fascinated by them. Here's why. It must be someone's job to keep edible pants from being too delicious. Because they've got to be okay in context, but there's a team of scientists that's working day in, day out to make sure that none of us start craving them. Struggle being single. I'm a pick-me girl. Do you guys know what that is? A pick-me girl is a type of woman who's like me. I'm not like the other girls. Why? Because I like live music. Shackle me. I do like live music. Like, sometimes I wonder if anyone's going to see the band Placebo thinking it was The Cure. So I do think about that stuff. Love live music. I went to see ABBA Voyage. Have you guys seen it? Voyage, if you haven't seen it, it's incredible. It's ABBA, they've got holograms now. But just before going into ABBA Voyage, I found out a little bit of industry gossip, and I'm going to share it with you because I was pissed off. ABBA, the band, they're not even dead. And they've got holograms, is it? You can't have holograms if you're alive. Hey, ABBA, go to work. Voyage, it's amazing. From start to finish, it's them at their best. They were 28 years old when they recorded it. Start to finish, them at their best. A bit like this. So, ABBA Voyage. At the end of ABBA Voyage, sometimes the real ABBA, they come out. But the problem is that at this point in your life, you've only known them as hot 28-year-olds. So when 76-year-old ABBA comes out, it doesn't look good. It doesn't look like them. It looks like their parents have come to pick them up. I am a pick-me girl. I lie about my interests constantly, I do. My new thing now is I pretend to like football. Now, I want to like football. I really do. I really respect it as a sport. My problem is too much of it has happened. And and no one will let me catch up. Like, everyone needs to stop playing for like 5 years, and then I'll start casual, season 1, episode 1. Now, the real reason I'm trying to get into football is because basically I met this guy. Thank you. And, oh my God, so he told me that he could have Do you guys know him? That's weird. He does have a lot of friends. He said he could have gone professional. But then, and this is so sad, just before the trials, he didn't have the skills. He didn't have the skills, the work ethic, or the natural talent. So close.
I have realised that the musician I want to be is the drummer from Coldplay. I want to be the drummer from Coldplay so badly because that dude is rich as shit and no one knows who the fuck he is. Who the drummer from Coldplay is. He could be here and no one would know. It could be you, it could be you, it could be you. I'm not sure it's an Indian woman, but it could be. We don't know. I'm obsessed with the idea that this guy has the best life in the world. And I was telling my friend about this, and she tried to tell me something that she was trying to portray as a bad thing. Apparently, he loves Game of Thrones, so he said to HBO, can I be in Game of Thrones? And they were like, yeah, man, you're the drummer from Coldplay. You can do literally anything you want. We'll restart The Sopranos if that's something that will make you happy, right? Now, he is in Game of Thrones. Confession time, I don't watch Game of Thrones, but even I know the Red Wedding is an important episode of Game of Thrones, right? He is in the Red Wedding. Guess what he is doing in the Red Wedding? He is the drummer in the wedding band. That is the extent to which this guy's anonymity is a borderline superpower. He is in the most famous episode of one of the most popular television shows in the world, doing the thing he is famous for, and no one noticed. That is Kaiser Soze shit. And my friend was telling me that she read a supposedly embarrassing story that one of the actors told. One of the actors said that when they were shooting the Red Wedding, he was making small talk with the extras, and he got round to the drummer from Coldplay and said, "Are you a full-time extra?" And the guy was like, "No, I'm a musician." So he said, to the drummer from Coldplay, "Have you played on anything I might have heard of?" To which the drummer from Coldplay was presumably like, have you heard of All Music? Because I'm basically the drummer on All Music. And my friend tried to tell me this, like this was a sad thing. She was like, oh, this guy's in Coldplay, but no one knows that he's in Coldplay. Isn't that sad? No. Because the problem with being in Coldplay is that people hate Coldplay. People hate Coldplay so much. And the people who hate Coldplay don't say things like, oh, it's not to my taste. They say things like this, I hate Coldplay! But what you mean when you say that is, I hate Chris Martin. No one is angry with the drummer from Coldplay. No one has ever been like, oh, the drummer from Coldplay! My life! And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Nish, why are you so obsessed with the drummer from Coldplay? There's 2 other people in that band. We don't know anything about them either. And you know what? You're right. There's a guitar player and a bassist in Coldplay. I wouldn't know them even if they were here. I assume it's you two, but only because they sat next to her and I spoke to her already. That's all I've got to go on at this point. They have the exact same life as the drummer, because I did a bit of research into this. Turns out Coldplay are one of those bands where they split the royalties equally. So they have the exact same life as the drummer, apart from one detail. They have the exact same life as the drummer. They have the same level of wealth, access, and anonymity. But crucially, the drummer is sat down. And that is the dream.
I wouldn't go down on a man with a vagina. Or, absolutely not. All on a man. No. Because a man's vagina would be disgusting. Like, I think it's a good thing that most women are born with them, because you look after stuff. Like men, no, thank you. No. People get so angry though, man. Like, I always used to say the LGBT community, and then someone threw a bottle at me for not saying LGBTQIA+. And it's like, mate, I'm on your team. I just didn't know. Like, I didn't miss you out deliberately. Give people some credit. You've named your community after a bloody Welsh village. I'm not going to get everything right first time. Like, also, does anyone know what the A stands for in LGBTQIA? The A? Anyone? Asexual. Yeah. Now, that baffles me somewhat. Like, I don't understand why those people would want to be part of the same group, because that means at gay pride, you've got people who are like, I'm not ashamed, I'm proud, I'm a man and I love men, you know. I'm a woman, I have sex with women. And then you've got these people at the back who are like, I want no part of this filth. Like, holding up a blank placard, like, nothing! We want nothing! You're like, over there, that's a different march, isn't it? Surely. The problem with some sexist stereotypes, though, is that they're there for a reason, aren't they? Some questions can only be answered with a stereotype. For example, there's a stereotype that women can multitask and that men are just like, ha, the whole time. I think it's offensive to men more than anything. But some questions can only be answered with a stereotype. For example, why is it that you never hear about a woman who died wanking? It's exclusively a male method of death, isn't it? The rope around the neck and... Now, this makes no sense, because women masturbate, we know this. Women have masturbated since the 1980s, of course. I believe it was the sinking of the Belgrano that finally got them going. Now, statistically, there must exist women that like to strangle themselves to increase the size of their orgasm, but you never hear about them because they don't die doing it. Women seem to be able to strangle themselves and masturbate at the same time. You know why? Because they can multitask, you see. And men's like, ha! You're gonna die! Fuck it! Ha! And they die. So, some questions can only be answered with a stereotype. That's my point. But these stereotypes were obviously used in the past to kind of make life harder for women. But now, some people think maybe life is harder for men because of the whole Me Too movement. I don't know about that. But what I do know is that no man could deal with the Me Too hashtag. Like, no, not even the really woke, liberal good guys. Like, I've got a friend who's a real good guy, you know, like one of them. And he... he's always blogging about why we can't eat prawns or some nonsense. And... he's like, oh, this harassment stuff's terrible, isn't it? Oh, this harassment stuff, makes you want to castrate yourself. What? That's what he said. Every man should just castrate himself. It's like, come on, mate, that's such a male response, isn't it? Because women still want to have sex, they just don't want to be harassed, right? So if women are like, hey, could you stop harassing us? And men go, oh, right, I see, well, I guess I don't need this anymore. Chop. Surely women are like, no, I still want to have sex, just more on my terms. But then we're like, no, those are your options. Either we can harass you or it's nothing. The species ends. Pick a team, Karen. Huh?
I was such a fat kid. My mother used to buy bathing suits with blowholes in them. It was just... But my parents... I don't want to go into my childhood here because it's wrong. My parents hated me, okay? We're all going to hear the story, all right? Me when my parents hated me, too. My parents, all I ever heard growing up is, why can't you be like your cousin Sheila? Why can't you be like your cousin Sheila? Sheila had died at birth. They just hated me. Whenever we would go like in front of a street, each parent would take my hand, hold our hand, we're crossing the street, and then they'd swing me into the traffic. They used to say, take candy from strangers. Ask the funny man in the raincoat, does he own a van? I had a very bad childhood, and that's because, and I'm sure none of you give a damn, but I was the only Jewish kid, this is the absolute truth, growing up in an all-Catholic neighborhood. You know what that's? The Irish people. Only Jewish kid in a Catholic neighborhood. You know what that's like? You were all doing Hail Marys, I was doing Hail Murrays. I mean, it was just no Christmas tree. No Christmas tree. Do you know what that's like when you're the only kid without a Christmas? Because everybody has Christmas trees. And nowadays, it's like, well, we do it for all faiths. That's such bullshit. Yeah, we walk into an office building, and there's a Christmas tree, and there's a menorah. Bullshit. The Christmas tree goes up, 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 up. There's like a little shitty menorah with 2 orange lights that some angry Puerto Ricans lit backwards. I mean, yes. Juan, you lit those lights backwards. Fuck you, you killed our Lord. I mean, it is just... So, I'm at the age where I figure, screw it, I'm gonna have a Christmas tree. I got the biggest Christmas tree I got a 2-story high Christmas tree. I put everything you could think of on that. Up, 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 gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. On the bottom, I got the manger. I got the whole goddamn thing going there. The wise men, the sheep. The only thing is, I have the baby, but I'm Jewish. I got him a nanny. It was just, oh yes. And I redressed Mary. She didn't look good. That stupid thing over her head, come on. I put her in a Chanel suit, Manolo Blahniks, and a Louis Vuitton pocketbook. You're the mother of God. Look it. It is just... Am I wrong? If she had looked like that, she would have gotten into the inn. Yes. The point is, it's about looks. Mary, she looked good. She would have done better. Mother Teresa, oh, don't give me, Mother Teresa, if she had looked better, she'd be a saint by now. Was she a bow wow? Yes. Did she need electrolysis? Let's talk to each other here. Even lepers were throwing their fingers at her. Here, get because it is all about looks. This is my message, Great Britain. This is my message. Looks count. Education, looks count. I have no sex appeal, and it has screwed me up for life. Peeping Toms look in my window, pull down the shade. You have no idea. My gynecologist examines me by telephone. It is just...
I started learning French really young at the age of 8 or something in primary school, and our French teacher, to help it sink in our brains, used to play little games with us. And one of the games was that we had to draw a name out of the hat, and that would be our French name for the rest of term, yeah? So I withdrew Marcel, and she taught me that if anyone ever asked the question, comment tu t'appelles, my response should be, je m'appelle Marcel, right? Now, I got all the way to degree level and 2 trips to Paris with that knowledge, and no one ever corrected me. And I went in on my first day of the lecture, and the professor goes, bonjour, comment tu t'appelles? I thought, well, this is going to be a very easy course. I went, bonjour, je m'appelle Marcel. He's like, no, comment tu t'appelles? And I went, je m'appelle Marcel. He's like, no, comment tu t'appelles? And I went, je m'appelle Marcel. He's like, no, comment tu t'appelles? I went, je m'appelle Marcel. He's like, no, comment tu t'appelles? I was like, je m'appelle Marcel. He's like, no, comment tu t'appelles? Je m'appelle Marcel. He's like, no, comment tu t'appelles? Je m'appelle Marcel. He's like, no, comment tu t'appelles? And I went, what is wrong with you? You said you were French. I went, je m'appelle Marcel. He's like, no, comment tu t'appelles? What is your name? I was like, je m'appelle Marcel. My name is Stephen. Educated. And as part of our course, yeah, we had to do a year abroad. Hold on. Gap year. We did, Jimmy. We had to do a year abroad, right? So I moved to the south of France for a year, and I'm dating myself with this reference, I do know. But I thought it would be like a Hilary Duff film, right? Do you know where I'd like move to the south of France, get a job in a little boulangerie, fall in love, move into the guy's chateau and never have to come and perform in Hammersmith? Do you know what I mean? And me and my friends all had a bit of a dream. Like my friend Kate, she's married to a guy now called Florent and lives in Nice. That was my dream, bitch. My friend Sam got with a guy while we were there, and his name was Nicolas. And I even got with a guy while we were there for one term, and his name was Kevin. It wasn't even Kevin. I went all the way to the south of France and found the only guy from Stockport. Just called me Sally Webster. And the thing I hated the most about doing that year abroad was I don't like flying. Howie, give me a cheer if you like flying. Give me a cheer if you don't like it. Yeah, all the ones sat in the sky. I really hate it, yeah, because everyone's like it's the safest form of transport, but that's not true, is it? Because speak to someone that's been in a crash. And that is valid. That is really valid. And I've had to find my way of getting round it. You need hints, tricks, don't you? So my therapist said you just need to sit on the plane doing this. I get thrown off the plane if I do that, Julie. And the way I've been trying to get round it, hear me out, you're going to think I'm mad, right? Do you know sometimes when you look at someone and you think, like Aaron, I look at you and I go, you would never die in a plane crash. You've got that kind of face, you know, it's like, you're not going to go that way. Whereas some people, they've got that face where it's like, have you already been in one? And I flew to Dublin this year, and it was the best flight I'd ever had, right? Because I found someone like you, Aaron. I found someone. Peter Barlow from Coronation Street was on the flight, and I thought, Peter Barlow's not going to die in a Ryanair flight. He's already been through too much.
The most sexually adventurous thing I ever did, I did it when I was single. When I was single, I ordered the #1 vibrator on the Love Honey website. And the Love Honey website is a sex toy website, for those of you pretending not to know. I kind of ordered it out of spite, right? Because one of my exes called me a prude, which I think is such an extreme thing to call someone. I don't think I did anything to warrant that. The only thing I can think of maybe is once I said that I don't like morning sex. That's not a big deal. That doesn't mean that I'm not sex positive. I just don't think you should do something that disgusting in the morning. Not whilst the blackbird is singing his morning tune. But I went on the website. It was late at night. I just ordered the first one on the list because I thought that will be good. That will probably be quite nice. The thing that arrived is so terrifying. It plugs directly into the wall. It has one of those on the end of it. It uses mains electricity. It needs to be pat tested. I just find that so threatening, because I think what that's basically saying is, what I'm about to do to you couldn't possibly be done with a battery. I'm going to need that same stuff that powers your fridge. It's huge. It's bigger than this. It looks like a piece of farming equipment from the Industrial Revolution. But it's called a wand. There is nothing magical about it. I've never seen this type of vibrator before. All the vibrators that I've seen advertised online are very small and portable, and they're not making big claims. They're just happy to live in your bedside drawer, and they'll be there like, okay, girl, I'm here if you need me. Like, if you and your partner get like super, super drunk one night, maybe you could experiment with me for a little bit. Honestly, I might not do anything, but I might speed things along for you a little bit. Either way, no worries if not. Whereas my vibrator is just next to the bed like, do you want to meet God? Not really. It doesn't even fit in the bedside drawer. It's just curled up on the floor like a python. And after it arrived, I was like, is this the right thing? Because I checked on the website because I thought maybe it got mixed up with like an order meant for Guantanamo Bay. It was the right thing. Not only that, I read the description for the first time. It said in the description, this is the world's most powerful vibrator. I don't think I need that. I need absolute max, a whisper on the wind. The world's most powerful vibrator. You shouldn't be able to buy that without a license. Underneath as well, it said, the vibrator will turn off automatically after 20 minutes for your safety. 21 minutes and there's a danger of death. I don't even want to share. It cost £90. So I felt like I had to try it because I spent so much money. And I don't even have a plug next to my bed. I had to get the extension cable. That felt desperate. I turned it onto the lowest setting. It had 8 settings. I turned it onto setting 1. It was so loud. I was like, there's nothing private about this experience. The neighbours are going to think I'm having a new kitchen put in. At midnight, they're going to call the council. Well, no, they're not calling anyone. They don't have any power right now. I tried it just for like 1, maybe 2 seconds, and I was like, I can smell burning. I can't use this thing. It's going to sand me down. It's going to erode. I'm going to be flat over. There'll be nothing left like Barbie. But it had 8 settings. I thought, I have to see what setting 8 does. Not on myself. I know my limits. I just turned it up to setting 8 in the sky. Fuck me. I was like, I'm going to rip a hole in the space-time continuum.
I saw a guy masturbating on the bus, and that wasn't the weird part. The weird part was he looked bored. If you're bored masturbating on a bus, life is over. If you can't enjoy masturbating on a bus, what's the chance you're gonna enjoy a sunset? This woman got on the bus, this older woman, and me and older women have a weird relationship. So this old lady sat down next to me, and I'm thinking, oh, shit. And she turned to me and she went, excuse me, sir, do you mind if I pray over you? And I went, yes. I mind that very much. Because we're on the night bus. Your God is not here. And she went, well, I'm gonna do it anyway. And I went, yeah, I thought so. So she started speaking in tongues over me, telling Satan to leave my body, which I was flattered. I got Satan. I got the big dog himself. That feels good. Right? Which, by the way, if you're ever riding a night bus, do it with some lady casting demons out of you. Because no one bothers you. Right? So she did that for 10 minutes, non-stop, speaking tongues over me. And then her bus stop came. So she rang the bell to get off, which is the most fucked up part of the story. Because if you think about it, this lady believes she truly believes she has the power, the cosmic power to cast demons out of me. She believes that. But she also believes her bus stop is more important. She laughed and I just shouted, "Come back! You're not done yet." The man behind me shouted, "Yeah, and I almost came."